Hello, welcome everybody. We're back.
Hello, 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 hello.
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 Can we try that again at the same time?
I think with latency,
3.
that's gonna be. Just getting to do that with Happy Birthday, like for recording a video for like family, is nightmare enough. When you bring in like international Wi-Fi latency into it, you can forget it.
Plus Australian
that just
internet.
Makes me want to find out whose birthday is next so that I can purposefully try and arrange the most awkward rendition of Happy Birthday.
I think that
Humanly possible.
Oh no, if you want the most awkward rendition of Happy Birthday, just as what Lorian Ross did to the Master Narrative song. Get him to do it.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I suppose I could.
I want it to be
Twist up and-
awkward, not
No.
Eldritch horror.
We need to make a blush
Eldritch
happy
horror.
birthday.
Hi, we're back. This is our 37th episode of Saints and Sinners, Descent into Avernus, where we're currently in Lorian Ross's 5D, 6D, 7D, whatever dimensional dungeon, where last episode, we found our target, but we lost one of our friends. Well, we lost one of our party members. I know, I misspoke.
Well, dude, I just looked at how many HP I had left from last week's episode. I am not happy.
There's not much, no.
Not much at all.
So I have preemptively called this Lost and Found. This could change. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. Emi, would you like to do the introduction?
Hi, my name is Emi, but you guys can call me Emi Rabbit, and I play Ava, the human monk. And yeah, things have been going crazy. Oh boy. Hopefully we find Ashe soon.
Oh, he's a little bit in the dark from last I heard. MLP?
Hello, I'm MrLiveProducer. I'll be playing the Dwarven Barbarian Ranger, Burlock Unguard, who has not had a good day. Yeah, that's about it, really. I watched the episode from last time at 2.5 speed at 3 a.m. this morning. Just to catch up.
Is that why you slept in?
I did not sleep in. I was awake. Then fell back asleep. Then I awake. Then fell back asleep.
As one does.
See, I go to wake up my goblin in the morning, and he's looking at me, eyes wide open. He's like, "More sleep, please." He's not asleep. He knows that he can stay in bed for longer if he says that and keep warm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a big fat mood.
Yeah, and then I come back 10 minutes later to get him dressed for school, and he's doing Lego or doing something on the floor. That's just a thing. Yeah. Hey, Del.
Hi everyone, I'm Del. I've been playing Reservoir, your Water Genasi sorcerer, who is not as smart as she once was, but you know what? Just as wise and just as likely to make stupid decisions, it would seem.
And not as
Yeah,
old as he
considering
once
what I
was.
saw last week.
Not as old. Not as old.
I was actually going.
Again.
Actually, when I saw that section of last night, I just spent 5 minutes trying to find out. All right, how can I make a shirt say "Wild Magic"? Not even once.
No, I think
Literally, the likelihood of me regressing my age, if I'm rolling on the magic table, is 1 in 100. And it's happened 3 times on stream.
and one
4 times in her
background.
life.
Yeah.
4 times, yes. So,
But that being said, how often did you actually use your wild magic outside
not
of the
very
campaign?
often. Well, outside
Yeah.
of the campaign, I rolled it for a few. I rolled it for a few backstory things. But here's the thing: inside of the campaign, I feel like over half of the times I've rolled, or I feel like about half of the times I've rolled wild magic, because I feel like I've only done it 6 or so times.
I know.
I've
And that's
regressed
even
my age.
That's even with my variant rule, where it's not just a nat 1; it's level of the spell or lower.
Yeah.
Which
Which
should
I
make it more
love.
often.
I
But it's still not very
love
often.
that. but I just don't know why I keep regressing my age. Like, I would rather at this point take a fucking fireball centered on myself.
Will be an acid ball.
What we need is a shirt with the, like, you know how they have the evolution shirts?
Oh yeah.
We need the de-evolution.
Backwards, getting
So you
smaller.
get the older Reservoir, and then like the getting younger and younger as we go.
Yeah, because she is technically 32, but she looks 12 right now.
Braces.
If
Is
you
this,
need
is
ponytail.
this an anime? Like, an
Pimping?
adult that looks like a child?
Let's not go there. That is no buenos territory.
Flowers in the hair. Will.
I've played Fire Emblem.
Hey everybody, my name is Will, playing Ashe the Fire Genasi, Artificer, and today Ashe is lost in the dark somewhere, separated from the party, which is going to be fun. Hopefully we don't... I'm not sure. It feels like this is going to be the climax of this dungeon, but I'm not quite sure, you know? Some of us may not make it out alive, or in one piece, or younger again. Just it's gonna be different. Everyone's gonna be changed when they leave. Different. But yeah, hopefully
Both
today.
characters and players, I should hope.
Oh yeah.
Well, I think I got a headache. That's about it. No. Hi, my name's Karsh Goblin. I'm playing Warwick, who I love the 5D whatever. How many dimensions this dungeon is? It's really cool. I'm not going to map it out like Dell is, but I love it. I think the concept's great. I think it's really fun. Yes, she's mapping it out. But I'm playing Warwick, the Broken Paladin, and we have Syrinscape in the background for audio. They're not a sponsor, but they do amazing audio stuff. We're also using, or Lorian is also using other audio tools for the other companies. And who's the other tool? The other ones?
This is the music included as part of Roll20, which is music from Battle Bards and Tabletop Audio.
There we go. So most of the dungeon, most of the in-floor or in-game is going to be from those two sources. You can help the channel by donating every dollar per 100 bits. You can give a dice to someone. We have 0 on the board. We don't have very much often on the board because we tend to use them I think we tend to save them for long periods of times. So the first one will be D4. Then we'll move
Lorian has one.
Lorian has had that one for a long time. I'm tempted to take it away, but he is
Lorian
the GM.
have like
Oh
two?
yeah, I keep forgetting about it.
Yeah, it's been there for
Keep forgetting
months
about it.
and months and months when someone
I
just
haven't
dumped
needed it.
money.
I wrecked your shit last week.
No, yeah, you do. Yeah, you don't need it. So can we take it away? I'll take
You can
it
use
back.
it to
Can
help
I
us.
have it?
I want to.
Oh.
I also want to.
Yay! Just as I said,
I
can
also
I
want
have
to
it?
reiterate. Oh, has someone donated?
Emi.
Just as I said, can I have it? I looked at chat as
Thank you, chat.
Thank you. So that's a D6 for Emi. God, it's been a while. So I've need to find where these in the.
Literally.
Write that down.
I'm tempted actually. Last week, on 2d6 radiant damage from the Firelights. What were they? I haven't actually settled on a name for them yet.
Bob.
I'm calling it the Firelight Skyan or something. Skian? I'm not sure.
I
The
feel
Glowy
like
Men.
There was a name.
Bob.
There was the Firelight Seer.
The
which was
Farlight
creepy guy
Eidolons?
with Eidolons are the ghosts.
Oh.
Just Bob.
But anyway, for those things, their attacks do 2d. They do d6 plus like whatever necrotic and 2d6 radiant. And for the radiant damage on 2d6, I rolled above a 10 7 times in a row.
Yeah, we're gonna need to take your dice away.
Like 10 or higher 7 times. I'm actually I love these dice. These Avernus dice you got me, Karsh. I'm gonna use my new ones today because like these are really nice, but I miss using my old dice. Even though they're not my evil GM's dice, I'm gonna bust out the blue ones.
So hopefully we don't have any deaths today. So yay. That's pretty much all the bookkeeping I think we have. Once Lorian is set,
Do you
once
need
he's
to tell
found
how the donation system works?
I kind of did, shortly,
Good.
quickly.
Yeah, I'm scatterbrained to death.
Yeah. Well, our donation system is the old one. We still have our legacy donation system where it's just a dice which increases. Every dollar or per 100 bits essentially goes up. And I think subscriptions and gift subscriptions doesn't count to it. Because it just, we did this beforehand. And Lorian is the GM and I can't change it.
Seashell in it.
That's cool.
This one's got raindrops in it. Anyway,
Can't see it very well, but it's
we
cool.
can't.
one last piece of bookkeeping. Happy Pride.
Yeah!
Yay.
And also and also in Australia it's Reconciliation Week, and the show is being produced and brought to you from Gungudgery country in the Southern Highlands.
Actually, I'll save it for
Which goes above.
I can't because I
People outside Australia
I might have some thematically appropriate dice as well, but that's going to take a while of searching through my dice bag, so I'm not going to bother with that right now.
Okay, good. Let's jump in.
So it's just me left to do, is it?
Yeah,
Well, I haven't done my introductions.
exactly.
I'm Lorian Ross, and I will be your dungeon master for tonight. For tonight's episode of Descent into Avernus. And I'm glad to say, I have finally finished drawing out the maps. My god, that was a Herculean task. And now those are done, I don't have to... This will be the last session with perhaps far too much improvising. From now on, I can properly prep without having to worry about shit. I need the maps to be done. And being a perfectionist about it. So that's finally out the way.
Can you just send them to
So-
Dell?
No, it's no fun if I don't do it on my own.
I'll take it then. I'll take a GPS.
When we're finished, when we're through with this, certainly.
When
So,
you're through with this, I plan on buying
everyone's
it. You
ready.
Need to send me it.
That's true, but it's not going to be out for a long while yet. I still have to playtest it a second time and then write it up.
I will wait forever.
And scheduling my other group is a fucking nightmare, so who knows when that'll happen.
Oh, isn't it?
Anyway. Benefits of being on stream. Anyway. When last we left the party, Ashe the Genasi Artificer, Ava the Human Monk, Burlock the Dwarf Barbarian, Reservoir the Genasi Sorcerer, and Warwick the Human Paladin. The party, still delving through this mind-bending, space-twisting, and time-diluting dungeon, came across a foe that challenged them and racked them to their core. A strange, eldritch creature with twisting, insect-like appendages, wiry crystals jutting out from the shoulder blades and arms, and a face, blank, but yet peppered with holes. Like a mannequin stabbed, like a pumpkin that had just been carved out with numerous individual circles, beneath which could be seen a glowing light. This Farlight Seer mounted an attack on the party with the help of strange, crystalline, glowing humanoids whose forms seemed to twist and bend in eldritch geometric patterns. The fight did not go in the party's favor, as maddening barrages on their mind sent several of the members into catatonic states, leaving them unable to fend for themselves. And in the meantime, the Farlight Seer seemed to set its gaze upon Ashe, targeting her and using its power over space to bend her and grasp hold of her, flattening the space between them to grapple her and pull her down through the earth. After a valiant attempt to climb the walls of this to find where they had taken Ashe in this hanging upside down township or small sort of ruins where these strange creatures called home, the party encountered the creature again and managed to survive as it seemingly left for some reason. They all convened, activated one of the crystals, mirrored again, and then found themselves wandering down a set of stairs before finding themselves in front of a familiar doorway, which when opened revealed the body of an archmage they had been searching for this entire time. Meanwhile, Ashe, you wake up and it is dark, and you kind of you try and like rub your eyes and try and get yourself some stable footing, but the earth kind of shifts beneath your feet as you move your weight. You find yourself having to clasp hold. You reach down and feel around the earth, and there are chains wrapped around what feels like rock. And as you kind of get your bearings, you hear a voice.
Thank the gods, you're finally awake. I was wondering how long you'd be out for. But, I don't know, when that thing is pried into your mind as it did, I've seen put me out for a long while as well. Here.
You feel a hand grasp hold of your wrist. A hand covered in fur and with sharp claws, which pulls you to your feet.
Hold on. How are you doing?
Not too terribly well. Are you the talking fox?
Very observant of you. Yes, my name is... I am here, Yishtara. Hold on.
And she there's a moment of quiet, and you hear off in the distance sound of the behemoth you'd fought before.
I think it's far enough away. We should be alright. I should be alright to drop this for now. Lucky, it'll almost run out.
And then darkness dissipates. You blink your eyes with the sudden light, and you find yourself in a most strange locale. You find yourself on top of a suspended rock, floating in midair, chained to the sides of a wall, chains wrapping around it. Below is a tunnel leading down, lit with white, unnatural lights. And at the bottom, a body of green, shimmering water, which looks sickly and odd and unnervingly still. And there, before you, you see the same Arcanoloth that had attended to Mordenkainen when you had first met.
Well, we got your message. We're here to help, apparently.
Evidently. Did you come alone?
Oh,
I'd
no,
imagine
no,
you did.
no.
You wouldn't have survived this long.
I could survive on my own, but no. I have a couple of other people there with me. Actually quite a few. But the thing is that some of them are a little bit unreliable. So, do you know a way out of here? Are we prisoners? What is this place?
Well, from what I can tell, this little predicament here is, it's a prison of sorts, you could say.
Oh, yes, so.
The seal on this rock blocks teleportation magic. Down there is something I dread to think about.
And you kind of peer over the edge, and you see a large shape move through the water.
And, any moment now that, thing could reappear from any one of those doorways. So it seems we are in a bit of a predicament.
Yeah, it's a bit of a pickle, if anything. I don't understand how I even was delivered here in the first place. All I remember is being taken down to the earth by that thing. Now I'm here.
That thing indeed. I have my theories, but nothing provable, nothing concrete, beyond reasonable doubt. But I don't suppose anything in this dungeon could be beyond reasonable doubt.
Oh no, this place doesn't make any sense. I don't understand it at all. Are those doorways ones that lead into other places as well? Just circular.
I spent a long time studying this place. This place, tell me, what do you know of dimensions? And I'm not talking about different planes of existence, I mean physical dimensions.
Dimensions.
The fact that that creature kept you alive and has put you here means you are of some intelligence. It seeks out those with intelligence. So, maybe?
I am flattered that it may have thought me intelligent, but I am probably not smarter than a brick at the moment. Dimensions. I mean, I didn't go to a fancy school like the others.
It is a pretty niche topic, I will admit.
It is quite niche, yes,
But
you know.
I say we have a good 20 minutes before that thing makes its rounds again. It tends to get stuck in the, collapsed tower.
Are you casting darkness every time it comes around?
Well, I would be. Except, I'm nearly tapped. I've been doing that for a while.
It's my next question.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. I have an idea.
An idea?
This place. This entire structure. I believe, and Mordenkainen, wherever he may be, agrees. I believe this place to be a pentaract. Which, in layman's terms, there's no layman's terms. You have a line, then in 2D you get a square, then a cube. Go up, you have what's called a tesseract, which is the 4-dimensional analog to a cube. This dungeon is one step above that. And, that's probably why it's so mind-bending. We can only ever experience 3 dimensions at a time.
I don't think I should be here because you're gonna have to dumb that down a little bit more for me. You're telling me that all of this place, there's more to this place than just what we're seeing, what we're feeling, what we're hearing. There is
Possibly.
There's a different way to traverse this place, is what you're saying.
Imagine yourself. Imagine a world of creatures inhabiting a flat plane.
Yes.
Moving around, they can only move forwards, backwards, left, and right. They're completely flat. They would not know the existence of a world above and below them. They would not be able to access the world above or below them. And any way of twisting space around in 3 dimensions, if you were to bend a piece of paper in a cylinder, for instance, well, it would make no sense to them. But to us, who experience 3 dimensions, makes perfect sense. Think of it like that. But we're just the flat people. Anyway, I'm sure we can talk about this all the more once we're out of here.
Oh, it is fascinating, yes. But yes, let's save our lives first of all.
Yeah. About that. So, my plan is, I have a spell in my repertoire that I can use to summon a particular kind of demon. This demon, I know for a fact, can cast darkness at will. There's one small hiccup, though.
And?
I lack the material components to cast the spell.
And what are those
Which,
components?
Unfortunately for you, the blood of a humanoid. You fit that bill. You're the first humanoid I've met in a good long while. The caveat, though, it has to be a humanoid which has died in the last 24 hours.
Ah! I see. Well, there's plenty of bodies where
Everyone
I came
else.
from.
So, the rest of you.
No.
The rest of you find yourselves in this room. In fact, I will drag the rest of you to the appropriate map.
I hate you.
And I have to do this individually because
This is gonna be fun.
I have that spell, and the second you said that, I was horrified.
I went from making jokes like, oh, blood for the blood god, wait, they have to be dead.
the rest of you venturing down a flight of stairs, you came across this doorway, cracked it open, and there's an element of the spell, of an important spell that I forgot to mention. You walk into this chamber, and you don't see anything. You see an empty chamber, albeit a glowing sigil on the floor. It looks almost like a church in a way, albeit with no pews. A sort of tattered and age-worn blue carpet leads up to what looks like a blank, a ornate carved stone table at the top. Pillars decorate the walls and the room either side of you, and the walls crumble and are broken in places. As you step forward, there's a flash, and similar to when you first entered his tower, before you appears an illusion. An illusion of Mordenkainen. And he does not look good. The illusion appears, and you see him doubled over in what looks to be excruciating pain. His eyes are firmly closed, and the skin and the insides are glowing to such an extent that you could almost see his skeleton. If you are seeing this, I am sequestered in this room by virtue of the spell. My body is invisible on the table at the back, but this force is taking over. If you should find me with this message, you may break the sequester spell by touching my invisible body. It cannot be detected, but I cannot guarantee that I can control the force which now controls me. I'm so sorry, but you will have to fight. Yeshtara, if you are seeing this message, I have set up the proper precautions. You need not fear slaying me this day. But I fear that whatever this force may be, it cannot be allowed to escape. He doubles over in pain. I must prepare the ritual now. before I lose control completely. Gods, help me. And then the illusion cuts. And you are left in silence,
That's a little bit dramatic.
in a seemingly empty room.
Well, I wasn't expecting to kill a legend today.
You can't
we
just
kill
kill him.
it-
Jump straight to killing him.
Well, he
Well, he
told us
said-
to kill it,
Kill him.
didn't he?
Well, he said he wouldn't guarantee.
I think that we should hold off doing anything. Because looking at all of you, you're a bit beat up. And I'm not at full power. And based off of what we just saw, Ava, you're still ill with whatever this light curse is. And we don't have Ashe.
If we rest here, we'll just get sicker.
That's true.
How
Have
are we going to
taken
get
a
out
short
then?
rest?
Don't know.
What did you ask, MLP?
Have you taken a short rest?
We haven't rested.
I mean, we're not healthy. I don't think we can get out of this place, because getting out of this place would mean that hut thing and falling. We found him. Yay.
That we did.
No, job done.
Well, not if we have to kill him, because then we don't get paid.
And not if we need to find Ashe.
Well, also in the end of the world thing. Oh yes, an Ashe.
That's true. At this time, Burlock just scratches the back of his head. Still hasn't recovered from whatever that thing did to me earlier.
Oh, by the way, this is something I forgot, given your encounter last week. I need everyone to make charisma saving throws.
Ah,
Right.
Fantastic.
we get aura protection.
Well,
You
the
do? Because you're all close to one another.
30.
15.
I'm not.
Hey.
I'm not.
Oh.
So, Burlock, Burlock, Ashe, and Reservoir gain another point of Firelight Sickness.
Oh.
Oh, thank God
It's
it
only
wasn't
one
me.
point. Yeah.
I already have 4.
Well, you touched a ghost. That's what
Yeah, but-
happens when you touch a ghost.
Okay, so I remember that for next time. Next time I touch ghosts, get firelight sickness. All right, good.
Actually, Ashe, you wouldn't because you've been in darkness. So.
Ready?
Okay. So that is no visible effect. Or
So everyone's on 1 except for Ava, who's on 4.
You want to mark your tokens so you can.
Actually, that's a good
oh,
idea.
that's a fantastic idea. I don't know how to get the number.
Hover over what you're going to do, what you're going to press, and press the number instead.
Oh, God. I'm so sick, guys.
Also,
that's good. I didn't know you could do that.
point of order
I don't
is
get it.
dynamic lighting set to this one because I can see everything.
Yeah.
So you hover over the thing with your mouse and then press, instead of clicking on it, press
Is there
the
no
number.
dynamic lighting on this map? There should be dynamic lighting.
There's no dynamic lighting.
I did it
We
for
can
you,
see
Doug.
everything.
What?
Oh,
What?
I did it for you.
Hold on.
I mean, I haven't looked at anything, but
I'm sure Dell's
There's-
been mapping, but no,
I'm a good
No, come on.
you're a good girl.
good person. I don't cheat.
a good bean, I swear.
I was
Well,
critiquing another
it's shift-
student's
it's-
essay,
it's
and I was
Control L.
calling
isn't it?
them out
Yeah.
for cheating.
I'm trying to do Control L, but it's just typing in the search bar. Hold on.
I don't know.
Well, we'll keep going and I'll figure it out.
So
There definitely is a dynamic lighting layer. The lines are there on the map, so I don't know why you shouldn't be seeing anything. You should be seeing just this room and this room beyond.
Oh, am I? Keep going. I'll work it out later. I'll just...
So what's the plan? Shall we're not well. We need to take a break and need to take a breather. But Ashe is not here. Like we do need to get to Ashe.
Find Ashe. Yes. I don't know where that thing took her. Or how we could even find her.
Well, that's the thing. Do we take a break? Do we take a rest and try to recover? And then go searching, or... I mean...
Either way, I think the resting is the thing.
I think we need to
Sorry, Mama.
rest. I think we need a rest kit.
I mean, not a long rest, though.
No.
Just a short rest here, right?
Yeah, no, we don't have enough.
It's not really...
Unfortunately, I hate to say, time is of the essence in this place.
In this place, time is just weird.
I can keep watch.
I can too. A short rest won't do me too terribly much good. Actually, though, I do want to try. I'll try. If I can, casting Tiny Hut and making it totally dark in the hut.
It might be a good way.
I don't know if it'll really help because it's not specifically darkness.
Well,
But
It may help with Ava.
it may help.
may.
That's a good idea. What if...
But even better, so I was already thinking, what if I cast darkness when we touch Mordenkainen and bring him up? Because it suppresses the thing, and he seemed like he was pretty sick with it. I don't know if it would fully help. Also,
What's
he's,
his-
an archmage who can probably dispel it in the blink of an eye.
Well, I mean,
But,
if you cast it
that only
before he...
lasts- Yeah, even so, that only lasts so long, and Tiny Hut would last a little bit longer.
I think we should see if Tiny Hut works.
There's another option as well. If his body's invisible and has been taken over, he didn't look well. He looked further gone than Ava is. So if we do Tiny Hut and darkness over where we believe his body to be, that may reverse some of that that's happening to him.
If Tiny Hut's darkness is powerful enough. So
Yeah.
it's
I
not
think it's worth a try, at least.
it does make it dark, but it's not magical darkness in that it will dispel.
It just turns off
light
the lights.
as magical darkness does. Yes.
Hey, try anything.
Like you could still theoretically cast like a light cantrip inside it, whereas in magical darkness that wouldn't be the case. But
If it's just dark, Ava will be our nightlight.
Oh,
Sorry,
yeah.
Ava.
Nothing-
It'll still be light in there.
if nothing else,
If we try.
no one else will be able to come inside the hut.
Yeah.
But
And there's another one of those mirrors or whatever crystals.
I don't know how
I've
much...
certainly made a note of that.
Now that you've pointed out, I don't know how much it'll help.
There is one thing. That
Yes.
angel thing.
The thing that we shouldn't touch,
Which one was that?
the one that Ava touched.
No, that was a ghost.
Yeah, no, not that.
Oh.
Back in Avernus. Assuming that we're not in Avernus anymore.
The
The shrine, the temple. It did something.
the one that had the water.
Yes, the crying angel. It gifted me something maybe I can pass that on to what's happening to Mr. Invisible.
Possibly.
It may remove some of these. If he's cursed, it may remove some of it. Or all of it, I don't know. Again, I don't even know where we are with that, if it will have power in this domain, but it's either that or calling for a Tiamat.
I would
No.
rather not do that.
Oh,
What is it, Warwick? If you an eldritch horror?
what's
I
Eldritch
believe
Horror?
that would be classified as divine horror in this sense.
I think we should just take a short rest.
I keep staring at my spells as if sending will magically appear if I just will it. I'm like, come on. I like go through all of them again. Like, sending's in here, right? Nope.
Is that the
5
door
minutes.
at the back?
So technically, is the Dell's spellbook the version of the refrigerator? Is there anything in here
I'm
now?
honestly, I don't even think sending, like, that's not even a spell it's not even a sorcerer's spell. I straight up can't have it, but I keep looking at it like, you're going to appear, right?
Is there a door to the back of this room here?
Hold on, let me jump back to the.
Certainly looks like.
Which one?
Bottom of the room.
No, that is just a stone archway, which is a decorative archway, which
Okay.
is crumbled.
Just checking.
You said there's like a circle here
There is.
that's very faint.
Yeah.
Is that where the programmed illusion was, or?
There appears to be. You kind of glance at the illusion, at the symbols. Make an Arcana check.
I'm not as good at that anymore.
Come on, little girl, use your brains.
Does Warwick say that? Oh.
Burlock raises an eyebrow and goes, "Not today."
24.
24.
Still pretty good. You recognize the spell contained within this sigil. It is the sequester spell,
Okay.
which with a 24 you'd know it. The target of the spell is invisible. Their body is made invisible. Cannot be detected by any sort of divination magic, and they are put in a state of suspended animation where time ceases to flow for them until they come out of it. So you get the impression with that it was probably a last line of defense to stave off the final stages of whatever this infection might have been until help could arrive.
It probably also means that we can't cure him unless we.
Yeah, I'm thinking about other things that we could do too. I don't think that I can dimension door through these different planes, but I
Would you
do
even?
believe
Certainly try.
I mean,
I
you probably.
don't want to try to. Like
You probably wouldn't know
when-
where you're going.
When Reservoir says, I don't think I could, I, Del, think it might be possible. But, like, and she probably thinks maybe it's possible, but does not want to try, so is not considering that as an option.
If you want to experiment, go through a doorway.
Knowing that you're not going to do it, I feel happy like telling you what the mechanics would be. You'd just end up in a random room
Yeah.
in the dungeon. Because
Yeah.
there's direction is meaningless. You can't know which way is where, so you just end up
Because-
somewhere random.
Yeah, so I'm not going to try and do it through, like, the dimensions, but I think that I could do it, like, from here to, like, on the same
If you
mirror.
can see
plane,
it,
maybe?
then it's yeah.
If I could
if you
see
can
it.
I'll say if you can see it, yeah. If
I-
you can't see it, then You've no idea.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But the
no.
yeah.
Yeah, because
Let's
space
just
is
take a
being
short
Maybe
rest.
that's-
We'll decide with. I think the decision was short rest. We'll just do that quickly.
Yeah.
We'll do a short rest.
Sorry,
I don't
Will.
know.
I'm interested in what's happening.
No, sorry. That yeah.
All right. So settle down. Are you doing it in this room?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna spend the time to ritual cast Tiny Hut over here near where the body is said to be. But
It's
I'm
not
gonna
gonna help
touch
him, though.
anything.
He's in stasis. It's
look,
not going to do a thing.
I'm still gonna try.
Yeah.
Are you closing the door behind you?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
of course.
Are we going to even put the
maybe
little
the-
latch thong and little chain thing?
Like, did that make any difference with the dynamic lighting?
No, we can't see
Oh,
it.
maybe. I think I know what the problem might be. I think I know what the problem might be. Hold on.
You've set it to
Dynamic
no.
lighting was
Version
set
1 or
off.
2.
That would be why. Doing.
But it might help you, Ava.
There we
There
go.
we go.
It
I
might.
guess.
I'm not
I
sure.
hadn't actually just enabled it.
I feel like. Oh, there we
We should-
go.
I'm done.
We should at least be able to tell if, because when I cast darkness, there was some sort of relief, correct? That was like felt.
Is that?
definitely.
Yeah.
And so we should be able to tell if
as
you
you
still
take a
feel
short
that.
rest. Yeah. So just as you start your short rest, go back to Ash.
So we finished the short rest. Can we?
Ash.
No.
Oh, I'll wait. I'll
Bear with. We'll get back to that.
be right back.
I mean, roll hit dice, but otherwise we'll get back to it. Ash. So.
Now, I know where your mind is going. Don't worry. I can promise you 2 things. Number 1, I promise you it will be painless. Number 2, I promise I can try and bring you back.
Number 1,
Now-
what do you mean try? Don't you have 100%?
Well, resurrection magic is never 100%.
Oh, maybe we should
Really.
find a different avenue. Maybe there's some way where
I mean, I'm just saying.
Right.
The option is there. I'm not gonna force it on you, don't worry.
Okay, perfect.
But the option is there. And I think if you'd be willing to risk it, it could save both of us. Just having darkness at will. Provided I can keep a leash on the little shit that I summon in. But who knows? In the meantime, we're kind of stuck here.
No, we are very stuck indeed. Have you? I mean, you're probably even more experienced spellcaster than I am. Can't you just fly out of here or something?
No. Number 1, a lot of my magic is tapped. And what magic I do have left, I am saving for when I really need it. When it's a matter of life or death. Number 2, as I
it's a matter of
mentioned,
life or
I
death for me.
usually... I know. Usually, I can teleport at will. But if you'll notice below you, and there is indeed carved into the rock another arcane sigil, different this time, but a kind of a dull greenish color. This is preventing any spatial travel, dimensional or magical or otherwise. Our options are to tightrope walk over the chains, risk falling into whatever fetid pool of water is below us, and then when we're on the other side, contend with that thing. Should we not have the measures to protect ourselves from it? And maybe we can just pray it doesn't find us. But one thing I have noticed is it can sense the presence of the infection and seek it out. I don't know. You seem to be on the straight and you seem to be alright. But even that which is undetectable to us draws its attention.
Painless, correct? Just painless, right? No pain at all?
As painless as it is possible to be.
So, like, would it be like a stabbing, or would you be like putting like how would this be
It'll
happening?
Please, I'm not so crass. It'll be magical.
Magical. Well, I've seen.
And no flashy explosions or anything either. Just very quick and as for the afterwards, and she pulls out like a satchel and starts rifling through it. I have a scroll. It's a simple one, revivify, but it'll suffice. I would hope to have saved it for Mordenkainen should I have needed it, but needs must.
Yes, my life is much more important than his. But the thing is,
No, it's not that. It's just allies are useful in this place.
exactly. I have a lot of value right now. Exactly. So painless, and you'll make
believe me,
sure.
I'm not as heartless as many of my contemporaries in Kahana might be.
You seem quite well spoken. I don't know what race you are. I've never met a talking fox person in my lifetime before. However, it seems that from what I can tell.
I'm not a fox, child. I'm an Arcanoloth.
Besides the point, I think the thing is.
Perhaps some other time you can research that on your own time. But for now, I need you, and you need me. So what's it gonna be, Genasi? Oh, I never called your name, by the way.
Oh, my name's Ashe. And what was your name again? Sorry.
Dust to dust, Yishtara.
Alright. I just wanted the name of my murderer. Alright, well, if we haven't tried to fly out here,
This is manslaughter at best.
Fair enough.
Besides, you'll be back in no time.
Just don't eat me, alright? Just don't eat my soul or whatever. Whatever happens, right? You know, things happen for a reason, and please just don't eat my soul. I have things to do in the afterlife, so. Alright. On the count of 3 then.
Right. I need you to do me a favor. Say,
Yes.
I, Ashe, consent to my killing and resurrection.
Why?
Because I just want to be on the straight and level with you.
Alright.
It's only fair.
Is that like a clause or a contract of some kind? Because you're a demon, correct? Or some kind of...
It is a very simple verbal contract, yes. Not binding in any sense of the way, but just a formality.
It seems binding. It seems kind of like it does bind me to something.
How about this? Should you agree, I, Yishtara, swear to do everything in my power to get you and hopefully your friends out of here alive. How's that sound?
Alright, well... this seems a bit... Can I do an insight check just to see if
By all means.
anything sketchy? Not sketchy, but the wording. Insight.
22. Hard to read.
Can we at least do this with paper? I didn't expect there to be a contract of some kind. Some kind of written contract at least. Verbally is a bit difficult.
Pulls out a piece of paper, and then, with a flick of the wrist, a quill appears in her hand. She
she jots down a quick contract, which is something to the effect of, I, in return for your death and a vial of your blood having been killed, I, Yshtara, swear to do everything in my power to bring you back from the dead and then get you and your friends out of here alive. With the proviso that we find and rescue Mordenkainen.
Looks good to me. All right, that's fine. Let's do it. All right. You have to understand, this is the first time I've ever died before, so...
For many people, they only get there first. You're quite lucky.
Oh, lucky,
She
yes.
closes her eyes, and then she whispers a word, which rings in your head, your heart, and your very soul. And before you even realize it, your vision goes black. Right. Everyone else.
I
Okay.
really hope we don't find Ashe dead.
That
Because
being
that
said, I
would
need to
be
finish
good.
rolling the rest of my hit dice.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I am in Spain without the S.
Oh man, that's such a mood.
I had to pull out the plushie.
The emotional support plushie.
Demon breaks free. What are you gonna do after an hour when it's no longer there? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Oh man. Oh man.
This is such a bad idea.
Mm-hmm.
I see dice being rolled. Wait.
Yes, I'm finishing
At the
rolling my
end of
hit
your
dice.
At the end of your short rest,
Okay, so we got the short rest.
you got the short rest in. An hour later, I need everyone to make a charisma saving throw.
Oh no. Does the darkness help at all from
Wait. Chat
A-
dice.
cut?
Chat
The
dice.
non-magical darkness? No.
Chat
Okay.
dice. I don't need to be any more sick.
Okay.
Charisma.
That's a 16, a 20,
Depending on if Warwick's sitting in the tiny hut or not.
10.
That's a
13.
23.
Oh.
Burlock and Warwick, you gain another level. So you are both now on level 2, which the end of your short rest.
Wrong one. There we go.
Notice.
That's my roll.
Oh wait, what was the 1d10? Oh, that was
Healing.
nice.
Hit dice, yes.
Okay. In that case, it is only Burlock that gains another level.
Yeah, chat dice.
Chat dice did save you.
Saving me from being sick. Because I don't... Level 4 is bad enough.
Yeah.
Do we know what level 5 does? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you don't. See if you get.
Oh, we do. 10 feet of
Let's
dim light.
find out.
Because I think that Ava was on level 5
Yeah, I
when
got up
we
to
took
level
our
5.
last long rest.
That's right. But you haven't seen all of its effects yet. I'll say that much.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
only put the effects down in that when you encounter them.
that's not ominous at all.
Okay.
So what are we
So-
doing?
You complete.
Dead air is not good.
You notice now Burlock has a bit of a glow about him.
Oh, great.
I wave my hand in front of my face. Goes, okay, that's creepy.
Like when you shine a torch through your hand.
Well, they
That
said
is
if you kept on doing that, it will cause some effects, but that's a new one.
What do we do?
Well,
Are we searching
Let's
for
go
Ashe?
over what we know. Where do we think that we could find her?
Somewhere in here?
All my hit dice before I get
Incredibly
max.
helpful.
Well, as much as I hate to say this, Mordenkainen might be our best bet. He has tried to map this area before, so he might know places we don't.
But would he know where that creature would have taken her? I mean, I feel like this is the same situation we were in when we were trying to find Mordenkainen. I've been mapping where we've gone so far, but that didn't help us know where he was.
Well,
We found the room that is located, so ta-da!
Yeah, we
But
know
not
where he
because
is.
we knew where he was. We
either way, we're gonna.
stumbled across this.
Either way, Mordenkainen's gonna have more information, but we don't know what he's gonna be like when we wake him up.
He put himself into stasis because he's already, well, pretty
He
far
could very
gone.
well try to kill us. He could make you more sick, and I gestured.
I think
at
that's
Ava.
going to be an instant. Just being in his presence, if he comes out of stasis, we're all going to get
Well-
more sick.
Maybe if what we were thinking before with darkness might help.
We're not as powerful as it is.
Yeah, but if it helps, then maybe he'll be in a better state of mind.
Do
You weren't-
we remember from when I cast darkness before? Did it feel like just a little bit of the Farlight sickness was suppressed, or did it feel like all of it was? Like we
All
felt
you-
back to normal?
While you were in the darkness, it was almost entirely gone. But when the
Okay.
darkness dissipated, at least the short 10-minute one, it came back.
But also, when you dropped the darkness onto
You dropped
that
the you
beast,
dropped the darkness after about 9 minutes.
Yeah.
You didn't keep it up, and then when you dropped it, it was back to how it was before. So it's, but then when you took a long rest in magical darkness, it had almost completely alleviated your symptoms. All of you lost a lot of levels at that stage.
and not just that, but when you dropped the darkness onto that thing in the other place, the first time you came
It
across
tried to
it,
get out of it. Yeah.
it did not like it. It was as if it was being burnt by it. So if we drop the darkness on him and he is one of those things, that's an issue. That's going to hurt. That's going to
And
Well,
if he's not one of those things, and if he's still somewhat himself, then possibly we could do our best to make it back to somewhere that we know, somewhere that's a little bit safer, and figure it out from there.
well, I think we should. How long does the darkness last?
10 minutes. And the only one of us that will be able to see in it will be Kashara.
I mean, if we cast that and it helps Mordenkainen, then we'll have 10 minutes to make a plan.
All right, and I do have, I'm just gonna look. I think I have 5 scrolls
And
left. I have
I'll
5
see-
scrolls of darkness left.
Yeah.
and I'll see if this crying angel, if its power can do anything.
Okay.
If it can't, I might just expend whatever that thing is. And
Well, do we all want to kind of like gather up and after the darkness is done, I'll touch him? Or do you want to do the honors work?
I think our best bet is to cast and touch at the same time. That way we
Yeah.
get as much time as humanly
Okay.
possible.
Yep.
Do you want to move your Kishara? Okay.
Yeah, sure.
I might move
Again,
To
I'm
the
jumping between
spotlight.
multiple maps, so.
Sorry.
Okay.
Do you,
Tell someone
Burlock,
that
do you
Oh,
have
has-
actually,
you,
Warwick,
Burlock,
are
you,
you-
you should have control over Kashara, do you not?
Warwick, I think
No,
you're gonna
no,
be out
they
of
have.
range of the.
Oh, let me change that.
I don't know whether the darkness is gonna be centered. Yeah.
Because it's never actually
Um,
familiar. We're just partners, so I don't really control
I know,
what
but I'm
they
actually,
do.
just to make it easier, I'm gonna allow you to control her.
Yes, of course, internet. I mean, darkness 5e. It's a 15-foot radius sphere.
Oh, it's.
I think we should stay as close as possible, though. It's probably
Cool.
wisest.
Yeah, you can cover most of the room. Like, say if you center it on yourself.
I'm centering it on myself so it will move with, like, I will center it on, like, I don't know,
Either way,
a random thing I
So
pull
you
out of my
cast-
pack. So it'll come with me.
you cast and I will do
yeah.
this blessing.
So what
Okay.
happens if I pick up Reservoir when she's cast darkness like a football?
I'm not casting it on myself. I'm casting it on something I own.
Oh,
Steal it.
I still do it anyway.
Please don't.
Well, let's do this. Let's do the plan.
Okay.
I'll count down. Okay.
No.
So who's touching? Who's waking him up or whatever?
I will
Just-
with the blessing.
Okay.
The second that the darkness goes up, you don't even need to count down. It'll just be, if you can't see anything, go for it.
Yeah. Don't blink. And scare yourself.
And I will use one of the scrolls to cast darkness.
Hey, that is a 15-foot radius sphere. So, oops, that's not what I meant.
That's not a
It's
sphere.
Alt.
That's not a sphere. Yes. I thought-
Well, in this
nope,
area
stop.
is
So we're playing sphere rectangle. I'm winning.
Okay.
Again.
Alt.
There we go. It's not black, but it'll do. So, the sphere goes up, and you are in complete darkness.
And I try to do a remove curse.
Okay. So first of all, where you make a perception check with disadvantage to actually find the body because it is visible.
Oh shit.
It might take a while.
I mean,
Isn't
actually,
it just on the
if you
table?
were prepared, yeah. So if you were like prepared to like, actually, I'll allow it. Yeah, that's so.
We're not wandering
out,
into the darkness
cast a
knowing we're
spell,
there.
Hold it in your hand. Reach out, and in blindly, you touch fabric, and you feel the spell go through, and you hear. I'm gonna come
God.
back to Ashe.
Oh, do we? Because I've got like the
See how I'm structuring this session?
death
Yeah.
shade on Ashe, so
Oh, God.
yes.
Ashe.
It's like a TV show.
You find yourself in a strange area. You see around you that same room you were just in, but now everything is suffused with this thin grey veil, and there's a disconnect, and you kind of look around the room, and you turn, and where the walls would be, you just see this grey mist now stretch out, ever onwards. And though you know that any moment now you should be called back, you feel a tug. You feel this overwhelming urge to just walk into that mist and not look back. Out of the corner of your eye, you see Kashara pull out a scroll and a diamond and lean over your body, but your eyes just can't even... You struggle to not focus on that mist and feel its beckon. Kashara casts Revivify. I'm going to use my luck. My chat dice. And as you take a step towards the mist, and then suddenly you find yourself back on the floor of the roof of that rocky floating rock, the chains on it. You feel your heart is tense. There's this disconnect. There's this sensation of this out-of-body experience that you hit with the realization that you just died and you're back. The Arcanoloth stands up.
See? True to my word.
And she holds up a vial of blood.
I thank you very much for this. Take a breather. I need to get to work.
And she casts darkness again. And once more, you are surrounded in the black. First roll was a natural 1.
Wow.
Oh, I hate to say this, but thank you, chat, for the DM chat dice.
Yeah. See, save it.
Ah!
My heart.
Of that though, Emi, you got another.
That was
You
4
have
months
another
ago.
D6 now.
Bill, thank you, chat, from 4 months ago.
Yeah.
I have a D4 now.
Oh, so yes.
Also-
By the way, Emmy, you got a D6, yeah.
Is it up to a D6?
Yeah.
Again? Really?
Don't get sick. That's what everyone's screaming at us today.
So it happened in the middle of like a really tense scene, so I just...
Sit there in the darkness, and you wait as you hear the sound of chalk being scratched into stone. And then Kashara mutters a dark phrase under her breath in a guttural and harsh sounding language, which, given your time in Avernus, you'd recognize as Abyssal. And then there's a flash of light, and you hear the sound of chittering, insect-like sounds.
Hello. My name is Kashara, Arcanoloth of Gehenna. And I will be your master for today.
You hear this guttural language as this thing barks out. It's some protest.
None of that now. Your instructions are clear. Very simple. You are to follow me at all times and maintain a constant sphere of darkness at all times. Do you understand? As soon as we cross this gap, the darkness is not to fade until I dismiss you. Do you understand? Yeah. Good. In that case, I'll just wait for this spell to run out so we can reap its benefits, and then I don't suppose, Ashe, you want to cross the chains in darkness now, would you?
Be preferable
After
not
that,
to.
we can be on our way.
10 minutes pass, and you hear sounds of something approaching. And as you just sit there, completely blind, you feel hot breath on your face. And the voice in your ear. Get away from him. Her. Sorry. She's a friend, she's an ally, and we need her. In awkward silence, 10 minutes pass. As you take in the events of the last half an hour. And at the end of 10 minutes, the darkness fades. And you lose a level of firelight sickness.
Okay.
Right. Well, it's been a long while since I've had to stretch my legs.
You look around, you see the Arcanoloth, Ishtara, standing there. And next to her, you see a very strange looking insect-like creature. Its odd body is it has a threefold symmetry to it, where there's four sets of arms sort of stretch out from either side. Almost its body, almost like it's got rotational symmetry rather than side to side. And on top is the face like an insect with two bulbous fly-like eyes and a mouth with 4 mandibles and razor-sharp teeth. It looks at you, seems to be looking at you as you see your reflection repeated hundreds of times in its compound eyes. It snarls at you and it grins. And let's get a look. Let's see what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, where have I... Is this on the... Yeah, that's why I'm on the wrong layer. I'll just put it there for now, and then it's Control Z. Nope. Is it Shift Z? There we go. Make a religion check for me, if you will, just to see if you know what this thing might be.
Maybe.
Yeah, I would say that you've heard about it. You've heard about something called a Durgaloth. Actually, not a demon, but a Yugoloth. You know it to be a very vicious creature. Something that you can only hope can remain under control.
Is this
As it kind of turns towards you, its cylindrical torso with 5 arms reaching out to the side kind of twists around, independent of the rest of its body. Almost like a perverse and disgusting spinning top.
Is this one of your Loth friends? One of those things I've heard about.
It would be indeed, although this one's a lot less amicable than I am.
A little bit more ugly too, actually.
I'm flattered.
Oh, just a little bit.
Anyway. Right.
Let's make our way out of here. Kind of, the company is great, but I'd much prefer if we could find, who we're looking for. And also my friends and coworkers.
Indeed. I think our first port of order. I'm almost run out of spells. I think I remember away from here there's a room where time moves incredibly quickly. You can rest in the span of minutes. If I can find our way there, that'll provide us a good bit of recovery. You particularly. You're on 1 HP, by the way.
Yep.
I was gonna say you might want to heal.
I'm fine. I am going to cast Cure Wounds on myself. Just probably second level Cure Wounds, but a couple times. Just,
Okay.
yeah, let me just try to fix some of these things. Do you have any healing spells, or is this mostly something I have to do myself?
No, I'm no cleric, unfortunately.
Well, then I guess it's up to me. Take out some bandages, sprinkle some dust, and heal a little bit. 13 plus 15, 28. Okay. All right, I'm ready as ever. Would you like to lead the way, or are we going to try and shimmy away across?
Well, I can certainly give it a shot.
She kind of peers over the edge, looks down at the long drop to the sickly green water below.
I really do take teleportation for granted. Well, no time like the present.
She pulls out a pearl and crushes it beneath her hand and rests it against her forehead, and you see just geometric patterns shape in the air before fading.
Here we go.
She takes the first step. She's going to use her fortune's favor, because that was a natural one. Much better. And what is her modifier here? Okay, yeah. She gets about halfway through, and she's struggling. And there's a moment where she feels like she'll lose her balance, and she kind of grasps the chain with two hands and like steadies herself. Second half. Yeah, and with that, she makes her way across.
Come on then.
The Durgaloth simply just uses its hands to one by one, just easily, without any issue, make its way across.
Not really known for my prowess in sports and athletics, so I'm gonna go ahead and at least try. I'm gonna do before anything I roll anything. I'm gonna do a flash of genius on myself. Just give me an extra +5, regardless of the roll. And then I'm gonna try to make my way across.
Acrobatics, please. Or athletics, I would say. You can use either.
16.
Okay. It's tricky. You kind of this is not something you've ever trained yourself for, and you risk yourself falling, but you kind of quickly figure out your center of gravity using your flash of genius to balance yourself on the tightrope. You make it halfway across. Can I get another roll, please, for the second half?
Of course. 17?
17.
I think I'd have still used Flash of Genius regardless.
Okay. And with that, you make it across.
All right. Good. Not setting a new record of dying more times in a day. Just one. Pretty good. Not bad.
All right, now.
the Durgaloth throws its arms out, and suddenly, you have plunged into darkness. And you feel her hand grip your wrist again.
Follow me. Well, I don't suppose you have much choice.
She begins to lead you onwards. Come back to everyone else.
I'm dying here.
So what happens?
Oh. You reach out and touch the body. And there is a
Mordenkainen?
you hear a
Hey,
voice.
Mordenkainen, you dead yet, man?
Wait.
You fools. Who is it? I cannot see. Your voices.
I've lost darkness. We're the ones that you sent to get blood.
Tell me, is this tower with you?
No.
The darkness. It cannot hold. It's progressed too far. It'll give by us some time, but not long.
Your illusion, it said to fight.
Indeed it did. Indeed it did. Ugh. You cannot see what's going on. You just hear the voice and the pained groans of agony.
We do.
What then? Are we to fight you?
I have set myself up a necromantic spell to provide myself with a new body, should this one fail. But if I'm allowed to progress further, I fear that this will consume not just the body, but the soul as well. Are you absolutely positive you can lay me low? For when this darkness fades, I know I will lose control.
You're asking us to kill you.
What will you do if we
Indeed,
can't?
I am, child. Know that I have mitigations set in place. But only if I am indeed slain here today.
Can you set up your...
If I am killed, then whatever resides inside me will die as well. But only then.
If we are not sure
It's
that we can
progressed
kill
beyond. Then why did you bring me back? Why did you break the sequester? If you were not certain!
you... Because we thought you might have information.
I am in little state to provide any assistance.
Well, then it seems we have no choice. We will do our very best.
Before the darkness
have-
drops, we can do it.
Killing you
I
in the
have-
darkness is here is probably the better way if you wish to die.
Anyway,
Talking.
we don't have a lot of time. Do you have any maps, anything that can help us?
No! You hear Reservoir. You hear him start the verbal components for Dispel Magic, but then quickly catch himself.
Everyone, we need to do it now.
Fine.
If you are not ready,
No.
I have one more use of the Sequester spell.
Rolls
If I
attack.
must, I will
Okay.
use it again.
Use
Wait.
it. We will gather our strength.
We can
No.
do it.
We can do it.
Burlock, are you
Mhm.
attacking?
Yes. It's like he wants to be killed and go.
Disadvantage.
Fine.
Yeah, we are in darkness.
All right.
I don't have all of my
disadvantage.
spells.
Didn't get back.
If he has another use of the sequester spell,
Which can be done later, which might be
We
useful.
can-
Either way.
no. But if he has another use, he can do it now, and we can come back when we are fully rested.
Don't have time for this.
Or when we find his
11
friend.
and 11 misses.
When we found Ashe.
And
you
his friend.
swing wildly in the darkness, and it clashes against the stone. You hear. "Ah!"
Wait, who's attacking? Who's...
Sequester yourself, please.
Very well.
We will come back
This is-
fully healed.
My last use of this
How long does it last?
Oh, it's stasis.
until
Forever.
it is dispelled again. In theory, it could last an eternity.
So we need to find your friend. That's it?
And gather your strength.
We
I
will.
can hide it. No! I can
Or to remove
your
the
strength.
curse.
only lift it if you are certain. I may not be, I may have my higher power drained, but this creature has its own capabilities, as well as controlling me.
Well, we thought to remove your curse, but apparently that
When
didn't
we
work
wake you
either.
again, we will do it in darkness, and we will kill you as yourself. And wish the best for you when you return.
Godspeed. And there is a flash of light, and you hear.
Well, the angel's blessing didn't seem to work.
No, it did not. We're going
So
to
we
need
go to
everything.
Tiamat for a blessing?
No.
We just. That was a waste.
You're not wrong, but look, we need to find our spells. We couldn't. You're talking about killing an archmage. There's
Person's a person. He said he has a backup body, which is
No,
a bit creepy. Really creepy.
mages in general do insane things. My
Have you got a
concern
backup
was
body?
more. No,
Is it
I'm
older
I'm not that
or younger?
powerful.
Honestly,
I swear on all.
honestly, was willing to go. I'm more worried about what had happened after.
All I mean is that I have some of my spells left, but I mean, I used two of my most powerful, flying us up here, and you're all low on health. If he had lost control, if he had actually dispelled, if he had started to fight back, we need to be certain that we can kill him when we come. And I was not certain.
We need to find Ashe. We need to find... Was he asking for his friend?
The Arcana Law. The one that
Need to find that
left
then.
the message in his tower.
I was hoping he could give
Or
us
one of the
something.
two.
Maybe
So
if
we-
we go back to his room, we can find more maps, find more information.
I think we should just keep looking around.
I think you need to stop glowing, Eva.
My concern is this place is massive, Ava. What if we go and we get lost? Like we've only mirrored ourselves, what, 3 or 4 times? If we start jumping into different versions of these mirror portals, it may become a matter of getting lost ourselves. And if Ashe does manage to be able to figure out where she is, then how will we ever be able to communicate with her in that way? How would she ever know where to go if she came out of wherever that thing's taken her? It could be a matter of we're chasing each other in circles for an eternity. I'm not saying don't go looking, but I mean, we haven't gone through all the books in Mordenkainen's chambers. Maybe we can find maps there.
I still have this
Maybe we
botany
can
book.
find information there. You can stop glowing like a lamp.
I don't know. Because it just feels like we're just going back to sit around and do nothing.
We're going back to find maps, to find information, to look into everything that's going on here. For you to become less ill.
But the more time we're in here, the more ill we get. All of
The
us.
closer you'll get to what he was.
You mentioned something was controlling him.
The light.
The
Light.
sickness.
It seemed more complicated than that to me. Do you think maybe there is some individual thing behind this?
Well, if there is
Anyone
a...
who wants to make an intelligence check.
I'm so bad at this.
Just straight.
Ava is not very smart.
Do that. I think I have a feature with Font of Magic. I think it's one of the Unearthed Arcana that you sent to me. I have Empowering
Now
Reserve.
it's Tasha's, so it's
Oh, I don't know
that's
if it's in
Tasha's, so
Tasha's.
it's not even Unearthed Arcana anymore. It's Yes,
There's
you can
Empowering
use
Reserves.
a
2 sorcery
you
points
can use
to
a
gain
sorcery point
advantage.
to gain advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do that.
I accidentally did that roll with disadvantage, so the first is a 19.
So it would be the left result, which is a 19. 11.
How did I get better than...
I hate being stupid.
Because you're older.
Hey, Burlock, the way the programmed illusion looked, the way he was speaking, it reminded you of the Hezru you fought.
Which one was the Hezru?
In the jail.
In the
Jail
jail.
cell.
In the jail.
It was being
That's
taken
right.
over.
By the two shield guardians, the two automatons.
It strikes me as
The
something
way
more
it seemed to
chaotic.
be, the way it seemed to be in a great deal of pain, and then almost like a flick of a switch, suddenly started moving unnaturally stiffly. And
Do you think that the creatures that we saw up there, the glowing ones and with all the power, do you think that they're humanoid individuals that succumb to the sickness?
Yeah.
Could be possible.
I don't know, to me it seems corrupting.
Which is why he said it might be corrupting the soul, and after the body could corrupt the soul.
Exactly.
So if
I
you-
think it's less that the sickness is one entity that aims to control multiple people, but it's rather a chaotic, corrupting force that changes the very essence of what they are and their motivations and ideals and goals.
then it's technically really a true death then.
Makes
What
it
are
pretty
we
hard
not
to
the
kill it.
sum of ourselves? Well,
Yes. Well, and as Mordenkainen said, this thing has abilities of its own. So, I don't know.
Okay, so
Either way, this isn't rescuing Ashe. If he's not going to
It
answer.
isn't.
I don't think we can get back to Mordenkind's office.
Well, we'll need a
We
rope.
can.
It's like a 60-foot drop.
We'll need a long rope.
If we're going back there and we're going to properly rest, I can use more of my spells.
We can't rest in his office.
No, but if we're going to go back there and then leave, presumably for some amount of time, I can ferry us down as an eagle.
Anyone who wants to also make another intelligence check. Reservoir with advantage.
'Cause I feel like you're gonna.
Because of how meticulously you've been mapping this place.
Because I feel like you're also gonna have to use that spell slots to get back up.
Come on. I am going to have to use spell slots to get us back up, but I perhaps can use fewer. In the sense that instead of turning one of us into an eagle and then turning another one into an eagle, I can just do one of us, ferry us up one by one, so on and so forth.
Can I counteract what the GM's about to say and put a guess in here? I think that if we do this, if we mirror ourselves here and walk out the door, we're outside. Well, not
Question.
outside,
What
but
do
at
you
the door.
mean?
This was like the door. This,
Oh yeah, the
wasn't
door
this
looks.
similar to the door from the first room with the machine.
I would like to know if Reservoir thinks that, because
Yeah.
I, as Dell, don't.
I mean,
But-
you can see it as a possibility.
Yeah, it's... But we would be on the other side of the door, and we couldn't open up the door before.
From that
What if we
side.
leave the door open? Stick something in.
Okay,
That's
who
just my
wants to leave
thought.
my little bubble of darkness open that door?
No. We'll wait till the darkness runs out. It seems nicer in here.
So what's
I
the
don't.
intelligence
I don't
check
mind.
for?
I don't mind having
Um,
this conversation without having to see
Never mind.
people.
No, I want to know what the intelligence checks are for.
I
Tell you afterwards.
But we made them!
Didn't make him enough.
Fair.
17.
Damn. Oh man, it probably still wouldn't have been enough.
I
It
don't
would have
care
been
what the
a
DC was. I succeeded that check.
No.
I've had that before. Oh boy.
I'm
It
just
was a
salty
C of
that I
5?
continue to be stupid because I made...
Welcome to my life in
Sorry.
Pathfinder 2E.
What's your intelligence?
Now 13.
You want to know even
You're
worse?
smarter than Ava.
It was 17 though.
And Warwick's smarter than you now. And older.
See, that's what Warwick was always older.
You don't want to
See,
actually be older.
that's what I don't like.
I
No,
plan on
it's
waiting out
okay.
the darkness because it's at least nice in here.
It's well deserved. Yeah.
Before doing anything. So I'm waiting out that 10 minutes before that drops, before doing anything. But then I'll test the mirror
Okay.
and then open the door. Is my
You
intention.
wait out the darkness. 10 minutes go by. And as the darkness fades, you feel a little lighter. Everyone can reduce their firelight count by 1.
Hey.
10 minutes of sustained magical darkness seems to abate at least the early stages of the infection.
It's just nice. I wasn't gaming the system. It is actually nicer in the darkness.
Last time you used it, you actually said, like, no, I'm going to cut it early. It was like,
9 minutes.
well,
I mean, it is nice in that we don't have to see Warwick's face for 10 minutes.
I only glow
A-
a
and-
little
and your-
bit.
And Reservoir's pimples.
She's 12.
Break out.
For what Genasi,
Yeah,
would it be pimples?
The pimples were the last time.
Yeah, she's also
Oh, she's
a water
pre-pimple.
genasi. Her skin is like perfect. Always moisturized. It's great.
You
I was gonna
so-
say.
I flip over
The last
Flip
time
over.
she was this old, she was
Okay.
green.
and test the door.
everyone, you see Warwick reverse once more.
Warwick, try opening the door. See if
That's
that's
what I'm
open
planning on
from
doing.
that side.
Okay. Warwick goes to the door. Opens it. And lo and behold, you see before you. As he opens the door, the rest of you see the corridor that you had entered in, with the stairways to either side. Warwick, you see. Oh, that.
Is that familiar, or is that's not familiar? That's
It is.
no, it is the right
It
one.
is
Yeah,
the machine
Yeah.
that you saw when you first entered
yeah.
this place.
Close the door. It's like, go back. I'm right.
Did you walk through at all? Did you walk
No.
through by any chance?
No,
Okay.
I just opened it and went,
Okay.
yep, close.
But I'm curious as to what happens if you do.
No, I'll go back and say, I think I'm right, guys.
Okay.
It looks to be the machine place.
What? I'll tell you what you will. Everyone make a. What's everyone's passive perception?
15.
13.
Well, actually, probably less than that. 11.
16 for me.
Okay. Burlock, you do notice. As Warwick kind of pushes the door open, when his hand passes the threshold of the doorway, it seems to be cut off and goes invisible. And as he opens the door, and then as he pulls it back, it's there. He
Before
reaches out, closes the door, and as
before
his
Warwick
arm
come
passes the
back, I would have
threshold,
knelt down to Reservoir and says, "You were right."
You don't have to kneel down. You are a small race. And I'm not a 4-year-old.
It's literally
Yes.
that how to talk to short
1
people.
plus 3 is 4.
So I feel like now I have to take the you regress your age minimum of 1-year-old as a threat. Like,
So,
That's okay. We'll get a war pram out there.
hang on. Can you leave the door open? I'm going to flip while the door's open. I want to see what happens.
Okay. You flip.
I'll go back and open the door.
don't flip into the sphere of darkness.
You flip. All right.
Hey, that's
You are
freaky.
Okay. What's it look like? Because I'm like staring at the
Warwick,
open.
from your perspective, nothing happened. You just opened the door. Your arm was there the whole time. When you flip, you watch as the room beyond turns from that corridor. In fact, let me go back onto this map and open the door so you can actually see what lies beyond.
Yeah, I saw that.
Goes from that corridor to this is a I need to click and drag individual characters to the machine, the arcane machine you saw
Oh,
first go around.
that's cool.
That is, correct me if I'm wrong, what happened to the Farlight Behemoth when we saw it, we fought it, and then it just went up into that garden area?
And the Ganassi. Put his head through the
Well, the Gith,
gith.
I believe
yes,
it was, the Gith looked like X-rayed, right?
Because you saw
Yeah.
from the other side.
But Ava just straight up disappears.
No.
Yeah?
Ava hasn't
Oh,
left the
no,
room.
she's-
Ava's just mirrored. And she's still there,
Ava's on my side.
much like Warwick was.
Oh, I
She-
thought you meant she went through the door. Okay, I was
Do
confused.
you go through the door?
When she said flip, I
I thought you meant flipping through the door too,
incorrectly
yes.
and imagined
Same.
her doing a backflip through the door.
Yes,
Oh,
because that's
right.
what something Ava would
This
do.
flip.
Ava, what
Same,
are you
that's
doing?
what- that's
you
what
now
assumed.
see the entry room before you. What are you doing?
Well, I just assumed we were all flipping. That's why I flipped, and I was like, I just wanted
Okay.
to see what it looked like when I flipped while the door was open.
Yeah, it was literally a blink, and it changes.
A little disappointing, but okay.
Can you go through the door?
I mean, sure. And Ava's gonna. Oh, I need to fix this token because it says. What happens if I start to move through the doorway?
So, Ava, when you move through, it's literally just walking through. There's nothing different for you. Nothing unusual. The rest of you, you're seeing her from the back. So when her arms start to disappear, what it would look like from the other side is left to your imagination. And then when she walks through, she vanishes. And you see that corridor, that green lit corridor before you, empty. Whereas Ava, you are
God.
standing now in the entry room.
Oh god, Warwick, make them look the other way. I don't want them to see me trying to walk back through.
Okay, everybody, and I turn to everybody, look the other way.
And
I
it's
can
weird.
see you shaking your head, Warwick.
Turn around, Ava. Everybody, is she turning
What's
around?
strange is that the rest of you can hear Ava, but you can't see her.
Oh. Ava, what do you see when you look towards us?
When I look back in the room, do I just
Ava?
see...
You don't hear them, but you can see them.
I can't hear them talking.
Who's talking?
Well, I saw Reservoir's mouth move. I can see them, but I can't hear them.
You can see them? But they're flipped.
It...
Why
Isn't
wouldn't
that
she
how the...
be able to Why wouldn't she be able to see us? We can see you. in
Because
this
she's on a
one.
different.
Well, I'm
she's
in this
on a
plane,
different
she's in that one.
plane.
Can you just tell them to turn the other
Is
way
she-
while I walk through? Because I really don't want them to see my insides.
Right,
feels
what have
like
you been eating?
That feels like an invasion of privacy.
So is
Hey,
she
Ava,
backwards
seeing...
then.
you can see them, so you will know if they're looking or not.
Yeah, but I don't know that they can hear me. So I'm just
Okay.
They'll
telling Warwick.
backflip and they won't know which bits are which.
I just start asking questions to Warwick to relay to Ava. Like, so is she seeing this particular room that, like, we're in right now? But what? And just goes off on.
And I start
40 million
miming
questions.
questions back.
Miming?
Can she not hear you either?
No, so you can't hear me now. Now,
No. I was having a conversation
Reservoir,
with
make an
Warwick.
insight check.
I was having a conversation with Warwick. They can hear me having a conversation with Warwick.
oh, yeah, I talk to Ava, but every time I speak
Yeah,
to them, I go,
Okay, but you realize that I don't need you to talk because I can just hear Ava's answers, right? Oh, I accidentally still had advantage on.
Well, gee,
But it's a
strange,
7
you can't,
either
like,
way.
For some reason now you can't hear Warwick either.
Whatever. But I can hear Ava.
no.
Yes.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
You know, you know what? It has been a long day.
I told you
I
that's where we
mirror
were.
myself and I walk through the door.
Okay. Everybody, the rest of you see the same thing. as the front half, like from where you can't see it, Reservoir vanishes into the next room. In fact, it's only Burlock who sees that.
I go to the middle of the split and start turning.
So Burlock, because you are watching Warwick from this side, you see you can kind of see that there's something wrong on the other side, but you're seeing the present half of him. So mercifully, you're spared any gory details.
Oh, that's right. You wouldn't see the
Looking
gory
from the other
bits.
side, it might be a different story.
I'm waiting for Warwick to jump in and jump out just to really futz with me.
No, I'm good.
Okay, you done with your futzing?
Are we finished? Are we going?
Wait,
Come on.
we can play a game of whose hand is this?
Yeah, but they can see you.
I think it would be pretty obvious, at least for me. My hand is blue.
And tiny.
They got
we
friendship
go
bracelets
for-
on the wrist.
Burlock flips.
It does.
And suddenly the room changes before you. You see the rest of your companions in the other room.
If we go to that ladder, and
Just
we
for
go
the
up it,
Are we on the ladder side or are we not
Where
on the
does-
ladder side?
that's what I mean. Are we on the side that leads out of the? Are we on the side that leads out of the
We are.
mines, or are we on the side that leads up to the sector with Mordenkainen's chamber?
Shouldn't we check to make sure the door doesn't close and lock us out?
I mean, we can just wedge something in the door.
I get some of these bricks and shove them in the doorway.
So that's easy enough to do. You kind of wedge it open, knowing that you can return here.
Actually,
It's a
I don't.
doorstop.
I'm sorry. I don't think that we should do that. Actually,
Why?
Yeah, bad.
because that would make anything that could go in that room be able to get out much easier.
Yeah, bad. Including Mordenkainen turning into a beast. Bad. Destroying this machine. Bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that perhaps when we go back
The long way.
the long way.
Which includes flying.
Okay. Okay.
Have you got
If
some
I-
chalk?
I
Reservoir?
forgot to take my. I do. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to take my Firelight sickness off because I don't have that anymore.
What you do is you go into
I-
your... Oh,
I took it off. I'm fine.
Cool.
I just needed a second.
Look,
to...
you need to move yourself.
yeah. I'm doing
If
that now.
I
For the sake of it, I'll just put everyone on this page for the time
Yep.
being.
yeah, can I just walk around the room, see if I can tell anything immediately different from
A perception
where
check.
we were before? I keep closing my character sheet because I am not very smart. I also took a -4 intelligence penalty.
Also, just a note, I noticed the editing of the token thing doesn't carry over from the different sheets. So
Oh, it
I
doesn't.
still had
Yeah.
advantage on, so it would be a 13, not a 14, because
Don't notice
I
anything different. You
forgot
don't
to
notice
take it off.
anything unusual or strange about the room. It looks exactly the way it was when you first entered.
Which is still strange and unusual.
Yeah.
I'm just
Have you got
gonna
any chalk?
write. I do, and I'm gonna write on the wall "first room" with a question mark.
Okay. And I write on go back. Yeah, go back to the other side of the door and write don't write that Warwick was here. On the others, just as an indication that I was there. Anyway. It's at least it's my mark out there.
I'll go and write that out on the door.
alright, let's go. Let's hurry up.
Don't unlock. Oh, sorry, no, don't leave open.
No, we will remember that on our own because
Posted.
what if we put don't
Well,
leave
what if
open,
Ashe
and they're like,
finds it?
oh, clearly I should. Well, I think Ashe is smart enough to know not to leave it open, frankly.
I look up the ladder.
You see magical darkness.
It's dark up there. I
Ah,
think it's the
nighttime.
mind. So let's go.
Can I? Well, I just, if you don't mind, I'd like to test it to see if we mirror over and I go and I look up. Do I see the mines?
It's magical darkness. Like, this machine generates magical darkness which reaches upwards to the top of this room, so you can't see where the ladder leads.
Oh, we have to go out. Okay, sorry.
Oh, I'll go. I could go poke my head up.
No, it's magical
Alright,
darkness.
Start
We
to
couldn't
climb
see.
the ladder and make a strength saving throw.
I will try to be with her because remembering what happened last time.
Oh yeah.
To try to.
Well, considering I have to make a strength saving throw, I think this is the way out.
Yeah.
16. Oh.
And you climb, and suddenly you can't. There's a force pushing you downwards, and you can't make it any further. The enchantment to keep the light inside this place is it seems stronger than it was before, and it's holding you back.
I think this is the way out, guys. Kind of hard to leave.
Here, let me see. If I
What if I push
Go up.
you?
Reservoir, you try and climb the ladder?
Mhm.
Yep, no problem. You climb, and you find your way out, and then you still can't see anything, but you feel around, and you know the fact that you're still in darkness, and you can feel the rocky walls around you that you are in the mine.
I think that yes, you're likely right, Ava.
If we go and send a rope from there and pull Ava out to try to get her out through the force field, maybe that might help.
We could certainly try.
Well, it's easier to pull someone on a rope than to try to push her up a ladder. At least that's my thought.
Okay.
I mean, your suggestion isn't that I pull the rope, correct?
Well, you're up there.
Burlock, do you want to try going up to help?
I just point at my arm,
Can't see you.
which is small and tiny and weak.
Burlock, do you want to go up and help Reservoir?
Which side we have to be on? This side.
We're
or
on the
other
right side.
Okay.
We're on the correct side.
All right.
I would like to just glance to see if we mirror, and it's actually the sort of first sector that leads to Mordenkainen's chambers.
You go back down?
Yeah. Well, I had to
Yes,
go
you
back
go-
down to talk to them about all this, because otherwise I
You go
would have
back
just been
down.
talking in the darkness.
You go back down, flip, go back up, and yep, you're in that same corridor as where Mordenkainen's chambers are.
Okay.
Then you go back up and you come back, flip, and you're back with us, and then
I'm gonna run really quickly to the chambers to write a note for Ashe.
Okay,
And
what
I'll
are you
write
writing?
random encounter.
Ashe - we've left the mine. Back
Oh.
soon.
Roll a luck save.
And I just write it very quickly, and I'll be on my way back. And leaving it on Mordenkainen's desk.
Okay. You go back,
Yeah.
and you go back down, flip again, presumably.
We're just waiting there like, where
It's-
did you go?
I wanted to
Yeah,
make
try
sure
to
that
find-
everything was the same, and I left a note for
Have you
Ashe
tried
as
to
well.
find a
if
toilet
she
in this place?
goes to
Takes
the...
a while.
Anyway.
Privacy.
Right. So we need to get Ava out.
Fine. I climbed the stair. I climbed the ladder.
Yeah, Burlock goes first.
Mike.
Me-
Mike.
Make a strength saving throw, Burlock.
Yeah, if Burlock goes first and uses a rope to help pull me up.
Strength check. All right.
Save.
No whammies.
Yeah.
No whammies. No whammies.
28.
25 plus 3. I'd say that's safely no whammy.
Yeah.
In this dungeon, everything is now no whammies.
I mean, is that just not D&D in general?
So,
Point.
Burlocks, do you throw down a rope?
Well, does Burlock even get up there? Is the question.
Oh.
That's what I was
With
waiting.
a 28.
It's nearly impossible. Because having... essentially, from a design standpoint, I gave you a one-off.
Ow.
But the enchantment is incredibly strong for incredibly protective purposes. And you need a meter 30 to push on past this place. I gave it to you last time because...
Because it didn't know us yet.
It's still, after all, still a work in progress. But I will say this much: it is designed by incredibly powerful mages to keep the light from escaping. And so, even with a 28, you get near to the top. But as you approach, and you hear the falling of rocks above you, your muscles strain and tense, but you feel this force of gravity pushing you downwards with such strength that even you cannot overcome it.
Can I spend a luck?
You'd have to get like a 19 or higher.
I know. I can't. I'm not gonna risk it because I still have one. I have an inspiration left from ages ago.
It wouldn't be worth it.
Not for this,
Yeah, I mean, you rolled a
You got an inspiration? I don't have that
17.
there.
Yeah. Oh, you had it earlier, and then on last episode.
Oh.
Yeah.
As you come to this realization that you may have a much harder time getting out of here than you had initially expected, we'll go back to Ashe.
It is also about break time.
Yeah, so we'll we'll go to break because this next segment might be a little
So you
bit
will.
longer. So we'll cut to break.
No problem.
We'll be back.
I'm
in
good.
Just died.
Just
God.
chilling. Just chilling.
No biggie.
Oh,
Chilling in the local morgue. We're all good.
Oh man.
So, coming map. We'll be back shortly. About 10 minutes, and this is an annoying dungeon who is really, really annoying to us.
it's an amazing dungeon.
But I guessed right. I guessed the door
You
right.
Did.
Yeah.
Did.
So smart.
The intelligence check was to see if you figure that out in character, but you figured it out of character, so it didn't matter.
Yeah.
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 Big brain.
Well, I'm smarter than a wizard, so hey.
Oh, wizard.
Okay, first off, don't taunt the healer.
Yeah,
Oh, she's also a healer.
probably a good bet.
And I actually forgot that you're actually shorter now.
No, you're still shorter than me.
Yeah, still,
You
I forgot.
Next-
Are a
the next
dwarf.
After 12,
I
when
would
you
say
start going down,
dwarves. I'd say a 12-year-old would be shorter than a dwarf, because dwarves are
Okay.
still medium
Yeah,
creatures.
roughly.
No,
I think.
dwarves are small creatures.
No, they're not.
Aren't they?
Mechanically,
No,
they're
they're
medium
medium.
creatures.
Oh,
So around the same height, but maybe
wait, how
Burlock could be
tall
slightly
is
taller.
a...
Well, let's work this
Either
out during
on the
break.
break, we'll be back.
How tall
Stick
is it?
around. We'll be back soon. Can we get some good music from Syrinscape, please?
Grim music, you absolutely can.
I do love the grim music. We'll be back soon. Stick around. And we're back. Hello. We're
Hello.
live.
Hello.
Wheels.
We're live.
Hey.
Ash
Back
wasn't for a
alive.
second.
For a second, but it
That's
was just
true.
a moment passing.
Yeah.
Simple change of state.
Yeah. So, I think for this section, by the way, I'm going to just fade out everybody except for Will because it's going to be Will being the center of attention. So just
Oh.
usually I use it as a death saving throw, death shade, or death shroud. So in this case, when we're going to just focus on Will, everyone else will be shrouded.
Is that serious?
Oh, you're by yourself.
That's fair.
And
Makes sense.
Lorian?
Oh. In the darkness, you're led by the hand. It's disorienting. You're first led down a flight of steps, and you're not sure exactly. You can't be sure where you're going. You hear the labored breaths of Yshtara and the skittering and chattering of the Durnoloth. Durnoloth? What was it? I forget what it was called.
Durnoloth.
The Yugoloth. The insect-like Yugoloth. You're led down a flight of stairs, and at one point, Yshtara,
I haven't said anything.
and you hear. The footsteps of the behemoth, frighteningly close, like meters from you, and you sit there in the darkness and you hear it. You hear it smash into something, and you hear rocks and rubble tumble down. But you keep deathly quiet. And for once, so does this chattering Yugoloth that has been summoned. Even it knows better than to make noise when it can see what this thing is, being able to see through magical darkness, much like the Arcanoloth can. And it walks away. Come, a whisper. You're led forward still. Watch out! There's a pool of water here. You don't want to fall in there. You're kind of led around, and then suddenly you hear a familiar humming. Here, one of the lanterns. And you're guided towards it by you activate it along with Ystara, and she sort of you hear her start to instruct the Yugoloth on how to operate this thing. She leads you down further, and the sound of your footsteps on stone gives way to earth and dirt and soft soil almost. And you feel this very strange sensation. You feel, as you're walking forward, it feels like the front of your body is slightly moved at a faster than the rear. It's just subtle, but it's enough to put you off.
Down here. We'll be safe here. Role!
She instructs the Yugoloth in some manner. You're led down a flight of stairs. A small one this time.
Right. This room is the focal point of the warped time. Here, we can take as long a rest as we need, and moments will pass outside.
Is it safe to discuss the darkness?
Yes, the darkness, as long as the caster remains outside, the area of effect encompassing us will last long enough for us to rest for a longer time. For at least 10 hours if need be. So, catch your breath. We made it. This far.
Alive. At least now alive, but still.
Yeah. I suppose you have more than several questions.
Oh, I have many questions.
I'm happy to answer.
Yes,
well, we have time now. Time and enough.
Well, my first question is, what in the holy mother of Avernus is this place? What is this place? I don't understand why this...
I mentioned it before. This place is a pentaract.
A pentaract, of course.
Five-dimensional analog to the cube.
I understand.
I'm just... So... the structure itself, I'm uncertain of its origins. I have a couple theories, but no evidence to say one way or the other. My prevailing theory is that some mad archmage created this place as an experiment, but by piercing through the veils of higher dimensions, found something which has taken an interest in our world. The alternative theory is that this place has always existed as part of our world and extending upwards into the higher dimensions. Dimensions where the light comes from, and that it was discovered by curious arcanists who met a sticky end. No doubt you've seen some of the strange individuals that inhabit this place. They were once not unlike you, or at least if the skeletons they leave behind are to be believed.
So just corpses then, just flesh-ridden corpses. Are you saying the infection, the light infection, is it a virus? What is this? Is it magical in nature? Is it arcane? Or is it something else, a parasite of some kind?
I've spent, given the warping of time, within and outside this place. I spent the better part of a decade of my life looking into this place. And the fact that I still know nothing of the nature of what this light is terrifies me. If it
So
is
nothing.
sentient, it gives no indication of being so. If it has intentions, it gives no indication of being so. What I do know is its effects. It corrupts everything. Quite literally, everything. From the stone you see around you, to the air that you breathe, to the waters that coalesce in the bottom of this place. To individuals, humans, their bodies, their minds, and their very souls as well. There is nothing this thing cannot touch. No doubt you've seen a numerous amount of the glowing rocks around this place. Not any natural geode. All stone infected by the light. The garden was an experiment spearheaded by Mordenkainen to see what its effects would be on flora. And if you've seen that, I suppose you must have done, as it's one of the earliest steps into entering this place. It's in the first Tesseract. That too is how the light affects fauna. Rapid growth, uncontrollable, mutations. In some places, sentient plant life has developed. Evolution in the span of years, millennia of evolution. Alien life forms. Regardless, we tried to put a stop to that experiment as soon as we could, but it was too late, and the plants are now spreading as well. And its effects on the individual progress more or less the same at first for everyone. Your healing is accelerated, but your body has become sluggish. Eventually, searing and racking pain takes over, so it becomes all-consuming, as your body is consistently tearing itself apart and rebuilding itself every moment. Eventually, it takes over. You lose the ability to control yourself, although from research subjects, there still appears to be a degree of awareness beneath it all. Eventually, one of many things can happen as the light consumes the individual entirely. Many subjects, most subjects, discorporate. Their bodies, the molecules that make up their body, become plasma. And even then, it is still trying to fix itself. That creature, have you had the misfortune of seeing it?
I've had the misfortune of seeing a lot of disgusting things down here. You're talking about the large armed and legged one, or are you talking about the one that was trapped in that cell?
Precisely, the armed and legged one. That is the result of most of the Farlight's victims. Clawing, discorporating, fluid, these individuals seek out each other and try and grasp hold of whatever community they can, but they end up becoming one in that creature you see. Others still transform in other ways. The seer who captured you and brought you to me, I believe was one of the original arcanists that discovered this place. Perhaps it was his superior intellect, force of will, but he survived discorporation, and yet his form was twisted still beyond recognition. As for the glowing individuals, I know not the parameters for which they come to be. And it seems to vary for different creatures as well. We experimented on a cambion, subjecting it to the sickness to see how it progressed within fiendish biology. If you wander this place long enough, you'll eventually find a room burned to cinders, as this former cambion is in a constant state of self-detonation and regeneration perpetually. It is chained up, and it is scorching the surroundings endlessly. I doubt it takes much of a stretch of the imagination to understand that if this thing was, this force, this light, were to escape the confines of this dungeon, the cataclysmic effects would be widespread and unstoppable. But what scares me most is the potential that I cannot rule out, that this is simply light itself, no different from that in the outside world, and that eventually all will come to be like it is in here. For time is so accelerated in this place that maybe it's had its full opportunity to evolve, and it's only a matter of time before everywhere else becomes the same. Whether that's just a nightmare or not, I cannot say. Perhaps I should have told you all this before you tried to get a night's rest, but never mind. Regardless, it has been my continual efforts and Mordenkainen's to understand and secure this place, which is why your coming here is so very greatly appreciated.
That is, I mean, obviously you're welcome, but what happened? Why did we need to come here in the first place is the bigger question. What went wrong?
I don't know. Mordenkainen, it was a routine expedition. A simple endeavor to continue to map out this place. But, well, he didn't come back, and we had an agreement that, should that occur, I was to leave a message and seek him out. And clearly, I did not return in time either, so the message was discovered by you and your allies.
So you've not seen Mordenkainen at all, then?
No, I've not. I was captured by that seer and placed upon that same rock as you were.
How long have you been captured for?
Better part of a week.
Does the sickness not affect you?
I managed to keep my reserves of darkness in order, but I was nigh about to run out until you showed up. Quite serendipitous, if you ask me.
Oh, quite lucky indeed. Thank the heavens I was captured and came here to save you so you could kill me once. Perfect. Sacrifice, if anything.
You may be a sarcastic, child, but the truth of the matter is, what goes on here is beyond you or I.
It's beyond
the
us.
sacrifice was indeed a noble one, but rationally was one that had to be made. I appreciate that you went with it willingly.
I mean, it is the logical decision, obviously, but, you know, emotionally, morally, I'm against it, but logic is logic. If it has to happen, it has to happen. But the thing is that I don't... Please don't say it was for a noble cause. It was the only way to get out of there. But I think... Well, my companions are wandering around here aimlessly. And while we're here resting, although the time is going to be shorter, I'm a tiny bit worried for them, just a tiny bit, that they may get caught somewhere and not be able to get out. You know, that the sickness is intense out there.
It is. And in any case, we'll get a full night's rest. I'll recover my reserves of magic, and I'll prepare a message spell and try and reach out to them.
All right,
Then
that sounds like a
probably
plan.
help guide our groups together. But we must rest first.
Of course. I have one last question, though, if possible.
By all means.
And this is obviously doesn't really have to do with this dungeon or anything, but why is an Arcanoloth like you working for Mordenkainen? Or with Mordenkainen?
With.
Why?
We are equals. Why? Because the threat that this place poses transcends the universal constants of good and evil. This is a greater threat. And just between you and me, a fascinating topic of study.
Ah, yes, that is the answer I mostly expected. For sure. I definitely did not.
That should hardly surprise you.
That's why I was asking, you know, because I would have bought at all for the greater good story. So, perfect. All right, just making sure that this place...
Believe me, I'm still interested in my continued existence.
Oh, yes. Me as well, of course.
So it is only logical that it's best of both worlds, really. I get to continue to protect creation with help, and I also get to study one of the most fascinating and dangerous phenomena to ever come across the plains. Best of both
Charity work
worlds.
with an upside.
Exactly.
Makes sense.
Call it a meeting of what it's the concept of what you're good at, what excites you, and what benefits the world, all meeting at once in the middle of that wonderful Venn diagram. It's just
yes.
what's meant to be.
That's fair. Is your little friend over there, is he going to be with us for a while? Or is he going to be going back to his own plane? Anytime soon, at least.
See. I mean, since we've begun this conversation, he's halfway through his first blink, so that's, he'll be there for a while. We don't need to worry about him.
All right. Oh, fair enough. I will be trying to rest somewhat. Thank you, Fox. Appreciate it. Sorry, not Fox. Sorry. Kashara. Thank you.
Yes, Tara. Or just Tara for short.
All right, Tara Fox.
You lay down on the cold, rocky floor.
and you may take a long rest.
Oh boy. Let's go. Ding, 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 ding. Nice.
Lucky.
So will she. Yeah. Alright, there's something in the dungeon for you to be able to, but I just thought something you need to find.
I mean,
Or have an Arcana guide you to it.
to be fair,
Mhm.
Ashe did
Should
have to
circumstance permit.
die to get that long rest.
Resting in
true.
peace.
True, yeah.
Also, Ashe had to play Burlock last season, so I think this is a
Session.
reward for playing Burlock.
Right. You wake up in the morning, or in the morning. You wake up later. Your dreams are uncomfortable. I mean, you've always been a bit of an insomniac, but even still, the exhaustion puts you straight to sleep. But the anxiety of Yashtara's story and the threat just fills your dreams with terrifying images. But still, they're only nightmares and they cannot hurt you. So you finish a full night's rest and wake up fully restored. Right. Let's see. You, at this point, the darkness has faded, and the Dernoloth outside. Yes, you can go now. And it disappears. I won't be needing him. Now I've got my reserves back, and we can find your friends. You now see you are in a sort of... You're in a kind of circular chamber. There is a pit in the middle with these same green glowing rocks surrounding you. And around, close towards the center of this chamber, the rocks and the stone of the temple, as it were, is gradually more and more eroded until it just becomes dirt and rock and ground. And you can clearly see the effect of time progressing much quicker at the center as the very stone of this place has eroded away into sand. Right. Well, first things first, we need to move out of the center of here if we want to get any cohesive message across. Otherwise, they'll have a blast of white noise in their ear for about a nanosecond, and then... well, they can't make much sense of that.
Of course not.
She starts to climb up a set of stairs, and as she goes, her footsteps just get slower and slower and slower, till as you're sitting there in the middle, she almost seems to come to a complete stop. What do you do?
I get up. I look around the place just a little bit, just taking it in and just sigh and
Let me just grab your token and put you on that area so you can have a look. Oh, that's why, because I've put in the search bar. Right. Ashe. And let's bring back some music. So.
get up. And I follow.
Yeah. Okay. And as you sort of step in her direction, I'll just put her on the map as well. You kind of step in her direction, and as you move closer towards her, her footsteps start to move at a regular pace until you're keeping pace with her. And it doesn't take you long to catch right up, and soon you're walking at a pace till you reach the outer limits of this circular chamber.
Oh, it is weird, changing time dimensions and such.
I find it personally rather fascinating if it weren't so intrinsically tied to the threat of this place. But win some, you lose some.
I mean, with the amount of time you can save in there, why don't you just stay in there? You know, research all you want, read every book in the world.
Oh, believe me, that temptation has been and gone. I imagine that's precisely why the initial mages took such a keen interest in this place. Right.
She pulls out. What are the actual components of the message?
Piece of wire, I think.
Yeah, copper wire, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, that's the cantrip. That's the cantrip I'm thinking of sending.
Oh, sending.
I think sending's copper wire too, though I might be.
Oh, it's the same.
Insane.
Copper wire as well. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
With a cup.
Pulls out a piece of copper wire, twists it, and
So, who would you suggest I contact of your allies?
I want
You
to
remember
use this as little as possible.
You remember which ones, right? You remember what they look like, correct?
I
They
really
were
don't.
perfect.
Vaguely, there was a dwarf, another genasi I remember.
Probably. I mean, the other ones are quite generic, anyways. Especially the soldier. He looks like everybody else. No, I think the Genasi is most likely the best one to send it to, because, like you, she is into arcane things. In other words, she's a nerd, so she probably will be able to, understand what's going through her brain.
Very well.
Give me a moment to. Let me just compose the contents of the message because I need to be succinct.
Do you need a picture of her?
No, just. I think it should be enough.
All right, perfect. Because I don't have one.
I thought you were just gonna say, okay, perfect, because she looks 12 now.
This, but younger. I'll be back.
Talk amongst yourself as I figure out this message. Because I need to.
Oh, it's okay. I've come up with a brand new conspiracy theory that's in no way based in any factual evidence. So I'm just thinking about that.
So, like a normal conspiracy theory.
Fair enough. Yeah. Some of the conspiracy theories I have surrounding this dungeon, have some elements of logic to it. This is just kind of like a shot in the dark. Oh my gosh.
Oh man,
I love this dungeon so much, but I feel physically sick right now.
Oh, this place is just
with nerves.
Fucky.
Yeah. I mean, the funny thing is that
precisely the reaction I hope to garnish, like that fascination, like that morbid fascination, like it's horrible, but I need to know more. That is the cornerstone of cosmic horror, and it's what
It's the constant feeling of, I know I shouldn't do anything. I know I shouldn't. I know I shouldn't. I know I shouldn't. But oh god, I want to.
All we're missing now is vodka.
Let's see.
Molotov cocktails, I heard.
No. How did you?
Vodka.
These jumps.
Oh no, it's because of the Call of Cthulhu campaign. Is that the first episode we were pretty much they were getting drunk on vodka.
And the Molotov cocktail was not used because he was drunk.
As
Did he just drink
Jason
it?
From The Good Place would say, every time he's had a problem and he's thrown a Molotov cocktail, suddenly had a different problem.
But the first one's gone away.
More or less.
Are we back?
Okay. Yeah. So, the message is Reservoir. As you sort of realize you're standing there at the bottom of the tower, the entrance room, Burlock having just failed to exit, and a voice enters your. Well, let's see if it does, because it is technically across dimensions. Yeah, it's fine.
Is it flipped?
You hear in your head,
Yshtara here. Your ally safe. Find your way to third Tesseract via Circle Statue Room near Mordenkainen's study. You can rest. We'll talk.
Understood. I will do my best to follow your map instructions. We found Mordenkainen.
Ashe, you're watching and you hear a sigh of relief.
They found him. Oh, thank the gods.
Dead
Get
or
out
alive?
of here sooner. They're alive. Well, at least your friend is. She didn't sound to be in any distress.
Oh no, Mordenkainen, dead or alive?
They found Mordenkainen. We might be out of here sooner than I had hoped. Oh, thank the gods.
Well,
Right. In the meantime, follow me.
And she leads you
lead the way.
up here. And opens the door to the left of this chamber. Whereupon you see, you're on this right map, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you see, oh, where's the dynamic lighting gone? There we go.
Maybe give access Karsh to something. I don't think he can see anything. Can he? Nope.
Oh, that's right, because he's on a different map layer. So I will just,
That might be nice.
You enter through the door, and you find yourself in Mordenkainen's study.
Oh wow. Is this the same room that we saw before? Or is this a brand new room?
Exactly the same. Here's the thing. A pentaract is comprised of 10 tesseracts and 40 cubes. Each cube, each room, resides simultaneously within 2 tesseracts at once. So, it's interconnected in many strange ways.
Oh, it's not that interesting to me.
Damn it, Del.
I'm sorry. You can't just say that and expect me not to react.
Ella's such a fucking nerd.
Hey, Del,
Can we clip that?
I can see more of the map than you can.
Hey, this is the words.
So for those watching, Del's been researching on YouTube.
I watched one video and that was over 2 weeks ago.
Still counts as research.
I have most of my research has just been drawing those shapes over and over and over again until I can make any sense of them.
This Pentaract and Tesseract talk, I would like to say it is interesting, but right now I think we should focus on the practical stuff. There's another person I know was here, she'd be all about it. She'd probably spend like 20 more hours here talking about this stuff, but don't really care right now. I think we should at least try to find...
I do notice a few books are missing.
Yeah, a few. Just a few. I mean, it's not like, you know, they're being used or anything.
Fair enough.
From what I
And now we
remember, wait.
Well, for them to arrive, I gave them clear instructions. Let's see if they're smart enough to follow them.
Do they see
So-
the note?
You do actually. Now you're in here, you spot a note. You pick it up, and it reads, "Ashe, we've left the mine. Back soon."
Oh. They've left, most likely.
What?
Well, the note says they left the mine. I mean, she sent back that
In
they
any
were coming,
case-
right?
In that
It's
case,
like all of
they've been-
30 seconds.
I'd be amazed if they've been clear of the infection this entire time.
I think we kind of figured it out. You know, it was being spread around when we were sleeping here. You know, some of our friends are more shiny than others, but, you know, we went outside and figured it out, I think. I don't think they've turned into,
If anyone
people
was
yet.
infected, they should not have been able to get out.
well, we did.
I'll have to take a closer look at the enchantment. Make sure that doesn't happen again. No matter. As long as they're on their way back, the Sphere of Darkness should be a good enough contingency.
so. Well, I guess the only thing to do is wait. Do you know how to play dragon chess, perhaps?
Huh. Not in a while.
Well,
Let's see. Meanwhile, the rest of you. So let me just bring Karsh back. Yeah. In fact, I'd say you probably need this place now. And let's make sure it's...
Dragging us all
This
over
is the
the
one
place.
disadvantage of this is juggling everyone all over the place.
Multiple maps. Multiple layers that all look the same. But different.
yay.
Never split the party.
What I really want to know after all of this is your naming convention for the maps.
Okay.
Final
Sure.
one.
know.
Final, what the hell? Why am I
No, I
doing
mean,
this? Oh god, oh god,
For
oh
like
god.
the different maps, because you've obviously you've got the one that we're all on, and then you've got whichever one Will's on, and then all the different ones. I don't know.
It would have to either be
I'm a
multiple
nerd, okay?
different map pages.
I like methods of organization.
So
Or-
we flip. We go up the ladder.
You go up. You find
We start
yourself-
walking north.
start
I think it's north to the Modern Kind's location.
It's north towards the office.
Yeah, the office.
study.
His bedroom, yes. And lab.
Okay, so we should start heading that way. So we should flip and go up the ladder.
That's what I said. We just flip. We start moving on.
We go.
Yeah.
We go.
Where's the? Yep.
We go, we come
Well,
back.
You have control of your tokens, so.
In the
We
wrong
are-
layer.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're on the
We-
wrong.
Oh, you're in the wrong layer.
We're still in the
We
room.
flip.
What layer?
We're in the room. We want to go up the ladder.
You should be. You should be.
We're not.
We do,
Yeah. What?
We are in the room where we can see
Oh.
the
machine.
Oh,
room where
no,
Mordenkainen
okay. I
was
don't.
in.
This is me not understanding how Roll20 works. I thought if you move the individual, I have to move you individually now that I've clicked and dragged you all individually. So there we go.
It's just
That should be
moving
now.
our access. I'm also in the garden to the side, by
There.
the way. In
Oh,
this map.
that's the old tokens.
Yep.
Okay. So now it's here. And
Sure,
then
yeah.
we put
Ashe in the study.
Are you sure? Because that's not where I was last time.
Yep.
Alright, so
Let's go north.
where are you going?
And in the message, she said something about the circle, right? Of statues? Or am I crazy?
The third tesseract.
I think I might just be crazy.
You could be crazy. Oh, you are.
Yep.
Yeah.
I just heard
It
third
was- it
tesseract.
was-
Yeah.
The message was, Y'shtara here, your ally safe. Find your way to third tesseract via circle statue room near Mordenkainen's study. You can rest, we'll talk.
Okay.
By a circle statue
So-
room, which it is the
The
one.
circle statue room was, yeah, over there. But I don't think that we needed to go. I think
Right. The north of that circle statue room brings us to the room above anyway. It doesn't flip us.
Wait, so it said near Mordenkainen's office.
I think that what I think we can just go to Mordenkainen's office.
Yeah, let's just go to Mordenkainen's office.
Okay.
I think, for example, if we were in a different, and if they're not in there, then we can start trying other things. But I think that was more to help us if we were anywhere else, but directly at the mines. It would help us find our way back there.
Go to
Yeah,
the north.
this is
and-
what connected to the
look.
circle statue room.
Burlock, you need to move.
Open the door.
Door. And there you
Oh,
find,
because
halfway
that's the reason
through,
why.
a game of dragon chess, Ashe and an Arcanoloth.
This strategy is decades old. How did I?
Ash, you're gonna lose.
Ah, we have visitors.
Oh,
They
finally.
seem well. Although
I'm gonna hug Ashe. Fuck it.
whoa, careful.
Oh,
You're not healthy.
I pat her on the head.
I have one.
Okay.
Just,
Because we moved,
close.
it was we have to re-put our things on our characters.
Oh, you seem to be in good form.
All alive, at least.
Well, we couldn't, and I look at us, we couldn't get out of the mine again, which was interesting. But
Yeah. Oh, of course.
We've been out
Yes,
once.
No, that makes sense. If the enchantment detects a breach, it strengthens its power.
well, it did a very good job.
Mordenkainen's not well.
Apologies. I'm been misguided in introducing myself. Y'shtara. We met before, but
Yeah.
it was brief.
Hey, I'm Ava. Nice to meet you.
Reservoir.
Oh,
Get the impression that she's
Burlock, Warwick.
the names
Oh,
are
yeah.
kind of going a little over her head. It's a little bit like, yeah, sure.
It's a formality.
Either way,
It's a formality, yeah.
Mordenkainen's not well.
Is he
Very
alive? Oh, he's alive. That's
He's
good.
alive.
unwell.
The quested spell, I think it was called, the sanctuary. What was the spell they
Had
used
to
again?
use his
He's not alive and he's not dead.
sequester.
Yeah.
Yes, and
Had to sequester himself. He's progressed worse than I could have thought.
it's bad, very bad, incredible. He
To the point where he wants us to kill him.
says that he has a backup body, though,
Yes, a clone.
but that we should.
Although that is a last resort.
He
He's progressed
seemed
that
to think
stage.
that it was the only resort left.
He cloned
It is.
himself?
Once
He,
it's high level necromancy, dear. You create a second body, which is empty, which your spirit can return to should your first one perish.
Oh god, I want one of those.
Kind of fancy.
That's
he seemed concerned for his soul if he were to grow any more sick. And even as we spoke to him briefly, and within a sphere of darkness, he struggled to maintain himself. I mean, he nearly dispelled the darkness.
I don't think it was him. It might have been it.
The infection, as we've taken to calling it. There's really no better word for it, although it's not a disease per se, but
Could call
corruption.
it Bob.
Oh joy.
The name.
A snarky individual.
It's currently in right now. Most of us are pretty, scathing.
At its early stages, it can be removed with magical darkness. Although, as it progresses, methods of recovery get harder and harder and harder. If what you're saying is true, and Mordenkainen is inferring we should kill him, it has progressed beyond the stage of being curable. But it is not yet at the stage where the parasite can survive without its host. If we kill
That seems to
Mordenkainen,
be
we kill
accurate.
it, and then his spirit can return to the clone. But if it progresses any further, we may lose him.
So, you think it's like a parasite that can be killed?
I don't know what it is, but it latches on to the spirit. It latches on to, well, everything. First your body, and then after it progresses, your spirit.
Now there is a little issue as well.
To the extent where now...
Sorry, continue.
Yes. No, by all means, what is your little issue?
Well, if it does get out, he's at the door next to the machine.
Right, of course.
He's right there.
She pulls out... She thinks, she said, okay, good. And she pulls out this sort of a scroll, unravels it, and you just see a mishmash of lines and connections and dots. And she finds two, and she draws a line. I'm gonna have to make this a lot tidier eventually. Scrolls it up.
Is that a map?
Is that a map?
You have a map?
Yes, but good luck deciphering it.
Fair enough.
I can just imagine Reservoir with her map now.
Oh, it's so much smaller, but probably so much neater.
Is there unicorns on the map?
No!
So the issue being is if it does have control of him, all he has to do is, I don't know what you call it, but we're just calling it flipping, or mirroring, and then going out the front door.
Essentially what you're doing is you're using the lanterns to... Basically, I've already explained this to your Firegenasi friend, but each room resides simultaneously within two different, what are called tesseracts, four-dimensional analogs to the cube. And when you hit the switch, you go from the room in one tesseract to the same room in a different tesseract. Does that make sense?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
It's the basic. Wait, so there's two. Each room, there's two versions of it.
It's the same room in two different places at once. Think of it that
Well,
way.
Like how we've noticed there's, the version of the room that leads out of the mine, and then there's the version of the room that leads to this area. And then the diamond chamber, there's the diamond chamber that leads to the area with all the statues, to the garden, to Mordenkainen's chamber. And then there's the diamond chamber that leads to the water, the solid wall, the area with the ladder up there, and then the area where we fought that crazy light thing.
Okay.
So there are 2 of each room.
Okay.
But you just said there was one of
And
each
then-
room because it's in 2 places.
It's the same room in different places at once.
Yes.
Can the light
Think of
change
it-
between them?
Imagine, for instance, you take 2 cubes and put them together, so that one square on this side is in this cube and this cube at the same time. It's like that.
Can the light beast thingy move between the 2 sides? Can it flip itself?
No, that is mercifully stuck in its own tesseract. It cannot operate the lanterns.
That's good.
That's an advantage.
Means-
What about the other
But
thing?
there is a. I'm unsure. I think it can operate the lanterns, but it's. I don't know why it doesn't venture out further.
We found its home or something.
a sort of
There's
town.
Upwards.
Yes. Well, I know of it.
There was a weird
Sad.
orb there that we didn't dare to touch, and some strange runes that I couldn't copy.
Interesting. You
Perhaps it was something to do with that.
Its lair. I've not dared go near.
Well,
We wouldn't have
I
found
mean-
Mordenkainen otherwise.
I mean, I went in and I punched it.
It took Ashe.
like-
What were we
sound
supposed
like-
to do?
Personally, I would have found another way around, but looks like it paid off.
well, the other way around is the front door, which I think we just locked.
Oh, there are many ways around. That,
But I think like the passage
I mean,
directly behind where he is directly behind the upside down village, which is also the front door. That's the catch. I think we might have to go through it again because we just locked the front door again to stop
you locked it
Mordenkainen.
again.
Well, we closed it and we couldn't get
We
in
closed it.
from from this side because we didn't
We-
want him to get in from that side or someone.
Wait, did we lock it again?
No, we didn't. We actually
Well,
didn't
there
close
was-
it.
We closed
No,
it.
we closed it. We closed it.
I don't know if we necessarily locked it.
We just didn't prop it open because we figured it might be dangerous if anything were to come in through that room, go through that door, see the enchantment that's meant to have them leave, and then possibly get out if
Or break the machine.
they were
Either
strong
way.
enough. Yes.
So that might be a thing. We might have about it. I thought we locked it.
Regardless, before we do any of that, you lot need to rest. I can see
Yes.
Just a little bit.
So, the lantern in this room is broken, and she gestures to the lantern on the desk, which is its light has gone out. So you cannot access the, we call it the time dilation chamber from here. What you need to do is you need to go down to the room. Well, there's many ways around, but the quickest route is down to the statue circle room. Don't mind the visions; they are not real. They cannot hurt you. You just ignore them and just proceed forward regardless.
Okay.
Then you will find yourself. There will be a pathway to your left, where the tunnel used to be, which will be a room with what looks to be an infinite drop, but it's in fact a loop. It goes. If you fall down, you'll end up at the top and keep falling forever. Then going downwards is you'll find yourself in a circular chamber where you'll see that the earth and ground has eroded more drastically towards the center. That is the center of where time is accelerated, and you could take an entire night's rest in the middle of that room with only a few minutes passing elsewhere.
So
Not only that,
Will
but
the
a spell
sickness
cast
progress?
from the outside. If you cast a darkness spell from the outside, which I can do, then it'll be 10 minutes for me, but it will be hours. Plenty enough time for rest for you.
So down. So I know the like directions don't really work that well in here, but you're saying down twice, across once, and then I got
Down.
lost.
So
Well, if you're
Angel
going to cast the
room?
darkness
Room below
spell
us.
outside it, you would be able to lead us to it,
So-
correct?
angel room.
I'm
Statue
currently
room.
in a different tesseract than you are. So you're in. She pulls out the map, which brace yourself.
Oh,
I'm not putting this up on screen for spoilers reasons.
Oh, I need. Holy.
wait.
It's
I'm
a bit
tempted
of a
to
mess.
screenshot.
I need to tidy this up, but we're currently in We're currently in room. Oh, now I've lost myself.
Oh boy.
We're currently in the red tesseract, as you can see, which is room 05.
Okay.
Progress down to 02, which is the room with the circle of statues and the symbols on the floor. Then flip to go to the orange tesseract, and then down from that room to reach the circular room. It's 3 stops away.
Okay.
This is looking
So-
just more like
Interdimensional portal jumping.
Okay. So sorry, just to repeat it again, we are currently in 05 or 04. Okay, so we're in 05. 02 is that circular area with the statues.
Correct.
Then when we flip over, we'll be in the orange tesseract, and she wants us to go down
To
into 9.
17.
Oh,
room
down to
17.
17. Okay.
Correct.
Wait, last time we went. Oh no, that was we were in the right layer. Because we opened the door and there was blackness on the other side of the.
This is incredible.
Starting to think there are only 40 rooms in this place, and yet they're all so complicatedly woven together. It's enough to drive one mad. But
Imagine trying to map this.
Amazing. I've been mapping it
I don't need
completely
to
different. This is incredible.
Either way, Reservoir, stop drooling. Can you get us to where we need to be?
Yes, I think so.
Why,
Let me just.
Why are some lines dotted?
those indicate one-way passages or secret connections that I have found. Or alternatively, where the connection, I've not been able to draw a straight line easily because of just the mess of webs.
Oh.
Actually, if the light beast can't change which way it is, like where it is, can't operate these, whatever you call them, these tesseract things. Which color on your chart is it on?
It is
Yeah,
in the
which
dark
test-
blue tesseract, which is
Okay.
top right.
So we're safe as long as we're not in there.
Yes, well, there is. Funnily enough, there is a room in this red one which connects there, but it it has been sealed off a long time ago.
That would be the south of the statues. Yeah.
Correct. It is sealed off,
We heard
and that
that.
will lead to its lair. But yeah.
Glad we decided not to go through that door.
Well, you couldn't have even if you tried. I made sure of that.
All right. And I'm gonna take a moment to copy at least the red and orange tesseracts. And if she'll tell me what each of the rooms looks like with the so I can keep note of that.
So 6, I'm guessing, is the
the
lab above,
lab. What? I don't think that there was a.
which we then dropped into
Was there?
7 from above.
Yeah.
And 7 being also where we get to 1.
Gotta pull up. This is the map where I had to make a
it's-
little flip out part.
Yeah. But it's in
Ava's just
30
looking at it like this makes
in
my head
33.
hurt.
Again, we're looking at it like it's a massive puzzle
Okay.
of lines and bits and pieces. But again, spoilers. I'm not putting it on screen because there's a lot there that you could probably just screenshot and go, "Hey, this looks to that." We're doing this pretty much blind. From our mapping to this is very different. But
Just like
yeah.
Yeah, if you. That's just a mess of lines, whereas I've actually drawn out things. But it's interesting. So, okay.
And you're yeah.
Oh.
So put the numbers in where you think, and lead us.
Yeah, so I will.
So mark where we are at 05.
I'm,
are you in character gonna make a copy of this map? Have one.
Just
Are
a
you
little.
out of character going to make a copy of this map?
I would only out of character do it if I in character did it. I'm copying the red and the orange right now. But I want to copy more later.
It's huge. Yeah.
But yeah, so I will lead us down to 02, which for me is Mirror Eye. And it's so great. It's so great.
I do want to ask like on the map you've got 07 and 09, like they're circle within circles. What does that mean on your symbolism?
Those rooms are essentially repeating corridors. It's if in terms of the structure of this place, if you take 4 rooms, put them together, and there's no gaps between any of them, so it's just one endless corridor which loops back on itself continuously.
Okay.
You'll see it in Tesseract 3. It looks like an infinite tunnel going downwards and upwards, but if you drop a stone down there, it'll eventually come from above you and fall down again, and then just
We
fall
read about
again
that in the
and
journal.
again
Yeah.
and again.
And 7 is the same, but it's like
But it's a
lengthways.
corridor.
So-
Do
Okay.
not, if you can't. 7 is dangerous. Do not go there.
Okay.
Proceeds to go to
was,
7.
was 7 the one that was close to the
Corridor, at least. It is. There's part of it in this Tesseract here, and that's enough to give me anxiety, make me anxious enough. That is the only way to get in. But the full corridor contains something of the light I dare
Okay.
not think about. I think it's a greater manifestation of some sort, without attachment to biology or anything material.
We found something in space.
And that's in the brown.
Yes, there is a
Tesseract.
breach into the astral sea.
The
That's
astral
actually
sea.
technically it's the same cube as we are in this office. It's the other side of this wall.
So space is on the other side of the wall.
Correct. That's
That's just-
part of the same room cube as this study.
That's just weird.
Yeah,
mean-
I am well aware.
Okay, this is giving me a headache.
Dedicated a great deal of time to trying to understand this place, so
Reservoir, can you lead the way?
Can you be quick so we don't get this headache?
Can I
Yes,
assist
sorry.
with a survival or some way to help direct the team, knowing what we know now? To get to the room?
sure.
Girls
I
just
love
still
this
drooling.
so much.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm just really enjoying all of this.
It's not difficult. I'll click and drag you.
Yay.
You find yourself near the ghosts in the circle. It's a room with a statue, a circle of statues.
Okay, so it was flip here.
Yep.
We go into the middle and flip and ignore them.
Oh, I had my map open this whole time. I was wondering what was happening.
That's really
I was like,
It
where'd
was
everyone
this
go?
room. Ah, damn it.
I mean,
Wait,
It's
so
fine.
would my note have been mirrored for them?
how do you, sorry, what's the question?
Was the note
Since
left?
they were in a
Mirrored.
different tesseract, would the note that I had left for Ashe have been mirrored?
Oh yeah, it would have
like
been.
would the writing have been?
Yeah.
Okay.
It would have been, yes.
I
The writing would have been backwards.
I refrained from saying that, but I knew that was the because I got to
Yeah.
see from your perspective of they were in a different one.
Yeah.
Wait, so Ashe is in a different
Yeah,
thing.
Tesseract.
he's on the different side.
Yeah.
But
The
in
thing is, in the study, the
Okay.
thing to flip backwards and forwards is broken, so...
So would we have to meet Ashe there?
Yep.
which is kind of where we're maybe going. And
Yes.
Do we? Oh, before I forget, do we get magical darkness to heal up our firelight sickness?
Once we get there,
Where's the
we have
other
to
side
get
of
there
Oh, there it is.
and go to be in the same tesseract as Ashe
Yep.
and Ishtara are.
Oh, so Ashe is in the purple.
Currently different color, yeah. Different tesseract.
To put my token thing back on again.
okay, Reservoir, lead the
And
way.
As they walk out of the the study, you and Yashtara walk out as well and find yourselves in that room. Albeit your view is slightly different because you will be in number 6, but just for ease, I'll put you all in the same one.
All right, so they wanted us to go left. That's not how left works. So kind of going around this way.
I'm just gonna follow.
All right.
You come across a there is a sort of a wall of it looks like wrought metal in front of you with stairs leading up on either side.
Okay.
A room made out of metal.
It's like the floor and walls are metal plating. Not dissimilar to the initial tunnel you'd entered into.
All right.
Interesting.
So she said go left, and then we should see the tunnel drop. Is that what this is? I'm not getting left and right mixed up, am I?
We
Well,
take the
there's
right
stairs
left.
up on either side.
Yeah.
Wait,
Okay.
did they go up or down?
Up.
Both?
So you can't see beyond the wall, but you see there's a lip at the top, about 10 feet up.
Oh,
Yeah.
So it's kind of like 2 stairs and then a lip.
so it's this
It's
way?
just like a higher elevation.
Yeah. I think
Oh,
it leads us to a whole
Ah.
thing. So
it's
just
the
don't
hole.
go down.
Don't look down.
Ah, okay.
And then we're looking for the circular chamber with erosion, which is that?
At this to the south.
Yeah, I can see Al.
And as you look in there, you see Ashe and Yashtara in that room. Although for you they are still mirrored.
I'm really tempted to see if the troll doll can fly.
Hey.
And then we need to go to the center of the erosion.
Wait, do we flip or is Ashe gonna flip?
No, don't. Think
They
we
don't need to
They
flip.
They
Spell
don't need to
effects
flip.
work.
We do.
But we're
The crystal isn't.
It's the thing. Crystal's broken in this room as well.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But spells work across
Yeah.
tesseracts. So
Yes.
It's like that thing could attack us from the different tesseract because it left the different direction.
and my darkness worked.
Hmm.
They're different my tesseracts.
So let's slowly move to the center of the room.
So it's strange. As Burlock, you kind of wait behind, and as Warwick kind of moves towards the center, he just like goes and speeds up like a tape being wound up. Like,
I talked to Kashar for a second. Do you want to stay out here and just keep an eye on everything for us, or do you want to come and get a rest?
It's taking so long for.
Just as tired as you are.
Oh, come on, let's get some rest then.
okay, the rest of you sit yourselves in the center of the room, and you turn around, and Burlock is moving
Walking normal pace. For a dwarf.
so slowly towards you. And it's so painfully slow that
I'm gonna,
eventually
like,
you have to
walk
go out,
Yeah.
meet up with him, and then walk together to
Yeah.
the center, because otherwise he's almost stationary with how slow he's moving. And so you gather in the center, and Ishtara casts darkness, which she did before you went. So you go out, she casts it, you go back in, and you may take a long rest.
Yay!
Yay.
I didn't even spend all my hit dice in the last one, but I'm glad I did just in case.
I get
Yeah.
hit dice back.
Ash
Oh,
just
it's
goes
Get to make a
outside.
new little seat
Oops.
of
my
all.
What the?
That was a
Fire!
mistake.
Fire monster.
Do
You
we
want to
still
tell us
get a long
anything?
rest?
Feel free to ignore that.
Good. It was just on the edge of the screen, didn't get to see much of it.
Terrifying. Actually terrifying.
Okay.
There is a flat. Okay, for flavor's sake, because as you're kind of waiting there is a flicker of something, like a sort of orangey shape that flickers in and out in the room as you're waiting. The rest of you don't see. It's only Ashe. She sees this, because the rest of you are in the darkness, taking a long rest.
Yay, spells,
What
abilities.
Is that commonplace or what is that over there?
Around places like this, where they exist, it's not uncommon to find time elementals.
Time elementals. Harmless? Should we kill it or is it fine?
Usually harmless, although one can never be sure. They are fickle.
Fickle.
Everyone doesn't seem to pay us much mind, but you wait around here, it could change its mind.
Sure. Why don't we just wait over there then? Just a little bit farther away from that thing.
Good idea.
And sleep. And we're gonna call it an end here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. You take a full night's rest.
Question: how much
Wake up in the morning.
Farlight sickness do I lose?
You lose at this stage 3.
Oh, wow.
God!
That's a lot.
Oh wait, no,
Finally.
sorry thing. Click on it.
Also, how much? I assume that there's taking the sleeping. I guess I'll ask next time. I was gonna ask, like I'm gonna be timing it in my head, the time difference, like the rate at which the time passes by for them versus us.
So
Nerd.
you guys take a 10-hour long rest. You know, a little bit extra because you're so knackered. And Ashe, 5 minutes go by before they re-emerge. And it's, again, when they re-emerge, it's startling because there's suddenly a flurry of movement and they're right up in your face because it's slowing down just before the end.
Oh, I wanted.
Everyone's
wanna-
been calling me a nerd. I just
I
wanted
just
to
wanna
do
test
something
something.
else.
I want to throw the troll doll out towards where Ashe was.
Okay, you throw it, and as it progresses outwards, it just and slows in midair before coming to a stop, like hovering there. It's moving ever so slowly in the trajectory you threw it, but just slowing down.
Yeah, it doesn't keep its perceived
Well,
velocity. I don't know.
no, I mean, like, to
Keeps
us, it's
velocity.
probably, the velocity is probably the same. It's just, because time's slowed, we're just slowly watching.
Either way,
Ash gets
we
hit.
take a rest.
You're
We end our scene.
take a rest, and we'll call the episode there.
Yeah. We found everybody. Yay.
Oh man.
Now we've got to
And
kill
now
an
we've got to
Archmage.
kill an Archmage, yeah.
Yay, I died. Perfect.
I
I
wonder
wonder
if
if
he's got a
Karsh
younger
is ever
body.
going to tell us that she died.
At least this archmage is willing to be killed. Like,
True.
Do
better
we need
than
a
the
contract?
alternative. I don't know. I don't think so. I feel like he was pretty. I feel like he was. I feel like it's different when someone is asking, "Can I kill you?" Then maybe you need a contract. But if someone's asking, "Will you kill me?" I think you already have like all the established consent necessary.
Kind of obliged to kill is the thing.
Assisted suicide is what
Yeah.
it is.
That's contracts.
Which I would like to say that still counted as murder, not manslaughter, or at least in the United States.
Does
It
it?
definitely have still been
I
murder.
am not researched in law, so I wouldn't. That was
Yes, the
that was
lore.
Kashara. That was Kashara being snarky, if inaccurate.
Shall we
It
ask
was
all the lawyers
incredible.
that are part of our contributors in the channel? I know we've got
How many
four
do we actually have?
law
Oh,
students.
God.
Three law students, one that is a lawyer as a part of the community. So
Wow.
yeah, I know it's like we used to have all these artists as a part of the community. Now it's lawyers. I just don't really get it. But either way, I love everyone that works here, that works with us. And let's do our outro. So can we get some Gloomscape music? Because it takes a while to get ready. And hey, Emi.
Hi, I'm Emi Rabbit, but you guys can call me Emi, and I play Ava, Human Monk. And yes, today's been very stressful, very, very stressful. But you can find me over on twitch.tv/Gathering of Nerds, where we play lots of different games. We played Gartic Phone last night, and we've been playing like Minecraft and stuff like that as well, which has been lots of fun. Or you can find me over on twitch.tv/Emi_Rabbit, which is my like personal account where I just kind of mess around and play Minecraft whenever I feel like it. So, but yeah,
And you had your hug toy.
yeah, I have
Emotional.
my emotional support Totoro
No.
out of reach now, but yeah, it's been a while since I've dragged that out.
It has. MrLiveProducer.
Hi, I'm MrLiveProducer. I've been playing Burlock Ungard, your very quiet Dwarven Barbarian Ranger today. And that was fun. We split the party and I was gonna say we split the party and no one died.
No one
Well,
died.
Ash died for a few moments, but that's beside the point. You can catch me at twitch.tv/MrLiveProducer, where I occasionally do VR content, and you also catch me every Tuesday morning local time for Call of Cthulhu Masks of Nyarlathotep. It's
Wednesday.
been
The second
Wednesday for
Tuesday night.
Tuesday night,
the
Wednesday
second-
morning.
the second Cosmic Horror show on the channel.
Yes. It's been interesting.
Yeah.
Vodka and maggots at the moment, apparently.
Just giant Richardy grubs. That's all.
That sounds fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dismembering and other bits and pieces. Del.
Hi everyone, I'm Del, and I've been playing Reservoir, your now 12-year-old Waters Genasi I almost said barbarian, I don't know why. Sorcerer! Waters Genasi sorcerer! She has no strength. I have no words for this, it's so incredible.
She's finally seen the map. At least, not the
Well-
map, but how the map is mapped together.
It's incredible, and it's like, it's so different, but it also, like, I was literally thinking about, like, making a pin board for this, and, like, that's basically what this is, but, like, and it's just, oh my god, you guys, this is so incredible.
How do you understand why I'm always like mapping this place out to the last minute for the show?
I absolutely understand, and I so very much appreciate all the work that you put into this, because it is like probably like the single most enticing D&D experience I have ever had.
That is high praise. Wow.
That is
That's
good.
fun.
You created an impossible puzzle, and I love it. You can pretty much only find me here. I'm only here for the puzzles. I'm not anywhere else. Next person.
I would be... when I designed this place, it's like there's no way anyone will see this entire place in one run. It's just, there's going to be so many different possible routes to get to the end, and you actually happen to find one of the shortest by climbing up that wall and going up to the top. And you skipped, yeah, that was a lot you skipped.
So he speedrun the dungeon. Yay!
I did.
Okay, because Ava was like, parkour!
It only led to one person dying.
It's pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Well,
Well,
I guess
but
Yeah.
Hi, Joe.
Hey everybody, my name is Will. I play Ashe the Fire-Dressed Artificer. Today I died, which was fun. It's cool. At least I didn't. At least I died with by DM fiat instead of dice rolls. I'd rather die like that than anything else. But yeah, super cool today. I hope everyone enjoyed the episode. The dungeon is really, really insane. And I'll be honest, the first thing when I saw that map when it came up was, this looks like a subway map. It looks very complicated.
London Underground.
Yeah, it's like the London.
That wasn't actually an asset I made for the adventure. That was me figuring this place out.
Yeah, it looked like it. It's crazy.
So it's kind of in character for Kashara as well.
It's super cool, and also it's also when I was looking at that map, it's like, wow, can't believe Lorian actually has a detailed Roll20 map set for this too. I thought it was just in most adventure books they just have just the lines going everywhere. But then I can see that you've actually mapped out everything with assets and making it all look pretty and nice. So thank you a lot for that. I really appreciate that. It's super
I
cool.
can't wait till you finish this and I can show it. I think once we've finished this adventure, I'd like to take a week off running Saints and Sinners to just have a breakdown of this.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We'll do a...
Because I need a break. I need a week off after all this.
I think we should have that time off and just have a chat and a feedback, because this is the first playthrough of it as well.
Yeah, you're the first playtesters as well.
Yeah.
And it's been, I'm sure it's a little rough around the edges in places. And there's a lot of things I'm kind of making up as I go along and changing and tweaking as we go along. So
yeah, I'm really annoyed that Will, you just said it's a subway map, because I deliberately hid it from the screen. I turned the map off, so our viewers didn't see it, because massive spoilers. But I was going to describe it. Imagine a subway map of a major city. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
And each point only has 2 lines. Each station only has 2 lines, and that's the subway map. But it's not totally connected, or it's not just one station going to the next one. It can skip.
It's more like a subway map mixed with a relationship chart. It's pretty complicated like that.
Shipping chart. Yeah.
A subway map.
It's pretty
with
complicated.
I've done shipping charts before. I know what they look like.
I ship Mordenkainen's chamber with the gardens, okay? Don't judge me.
Why does
But the garden has to be the purple one, not the red one. The red one is in a serious relationship with the falling chamber.
So before I do the wrap up, we'll do Lorian, and then I'll do the wrap
Hi.
of who we're rating.
welcome to the absolute insanity that is my mind these past few months. Like I said, I started work on this early last year. Not early, early this year. And the first month or so of work on this was literally just me conceptualizing the structure of this dungeon. Just literally okay, how do the rooms connect? How do I make it make sense? How do I have it, if not make sense, have internal logic and consistency, so that, this. Yeah, it was a Herculean task, but now the mapping is actually done, so I can actually focus on game design now.
Yeah. And music, because
Now
hey,
I've got
that
the
was a thing.
structure. Yeah, I really overestimated my ability to like get this ready in time. So eventually, there'll be music to go
Yeah.
along with this. Appropriately.
My rule of
themed.
thumb on
Um,
putting stuff into Roll20 and everything is, however long you think it's going to take, times number 2, then add a year, and you're pretty much on the ball.
I think my first one-shot adventure
Yes.
took over 300 hours. I learned I can do it fast now, but 300 hours for a 4-hour show.
Like that being said, I
They
can pretty
say
much.
for your
Well-
first D&D publication, I've heard it's recommended so many times that when you're writing your first thing for 5e, your first homebrew thing, keep it simple. I say fuck you. I do exactly the opposite.
With when I was doing with Gathering of Nerds, doing the one shot stuff, I got very good at making a whole one shot like the night before day off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
So,
I procrastinate.
don't we all? So
Ba-ba-ba-da-ba.
my name is Karsh Goblin. This is Goblin KVV, and thank you all for coming in. Thank you for all our support all week long. We have had a guard's tale where we've got, well, at least one individual hanging over a bottomless pit and bottomless void. We have Call of Cthulhu where we've been chopping up dead bodies, and there's something about witchy grubs trying to escape and eat people, or at least be eaten by them. And then we've got here where we've got a 5D dungeon where we're sleeping in a perpetual time thing.
I'm speedy.
Hyperbolic time chamber. Yeah.
It's been a weird
E
week.
boy.
It's been a weird week. I don't think we're going to be having a tabletop RPG this week. Our book club. I might be just playing some MechWarrior. I've been really enjoying the re-release of MechWarrior. It's what I do just to relax. So that's what's happening. We are going to be raiding Evandale because Evandale are nice. They do some amazing stuff. They're doing the episode 1, the season premiere of the season 2 of the Scarface. So that's who we're raiding. We've raided them a few times. They've raided us. They're nice people. So let's go support them. And thank you everybody for coming in and all the support. So it's been amazing. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.